from the upcoming candidates.
Hey guys,
Only
it's your
25%
boy
of them
here.
believe that Kamala Harris represents that change so far. That's not good.
It's not good at all. You're right, mister.
The real reason, I mean, the obvious reason as to why people have this opinion is because Kamala Harris has been, for some weird reason, I don't know why, retaining all of the same fucking people that worked on the branding campaign. And not only is she retaining the same fucking people,
Watch this.
she's
Says,
also
poll
actively
confirmed shift in
pursuing
Donald
the
Trump.
Brandon agenda.
What's the
and
poll
associating
saying?
herself with Brandon, even on issues that are seemingly very unpopular. That Brandon was losing to Donald Trump on.
So there are some polls that say that Donald Trump wins in that category. Some polls.
No, the debate is in an hour.
Yeah, I'm showing up early, man.
Let's say that she wins in that category. You can find both, suit your fancy. I don't really know if it counts as being plagiarism to take stuff from a campaign website where you were the vice president of. And she didn't lift the entire site. I understand you want to go back to the beginning of it where it did say re-elect Joe Biden. That went up a long time ago. If you look at the policy pages, it's very clear where she picked up things that were working and that the American public like about the Biden-Harris administration. Like, they're happy with how they handled healthcare. They want to keep the ACA. They want to strengthen it. They want to expand Medicaid for people, things that even conservatives have been smart enough to jump on. They want to talk about protecting reproductive rights. People think that that's good, that he was doing that. A child care plan.
We all know you don't care about that just by looking at your face, honey.
Website, his platform. So hers, I should note, has drop downs for everything. So you click on it, and then you can read a couple paragraphs about how she would do it. And then they very smartly also talk about how Project 2025
there you go,
would
chat.
completely dismantle the way.
Daily review. How did your day today go? Wow, drop downs.
But his
I read things.
is as unspecific.
Dank hacker man.
You should watch the interview with Caitlin Collins,
Very smartly nerd.
of it, where he actually slips up and
listen to the nerd, everybody. Labor, she has drop downs.
At the fact that Donald Trump is trying to pawn this off as if he's not related to it. But you go on his site and you look at his he denies everything, Judge. We've talked about this.
It's with all the
He
Zins.
says, seal the border and stop migrant invasion. No detail, no drop down. How are you going to do that? This might be my favorite. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. Well, that sounds nice. What does that mean? We know he doesn't have a plan for lowering inflation except to ask all the heads of the agencies to come together.
We're gonna. I don't.
Coverage is officially started.
None of them have submitted anything. Trump is just like, I'm gonna secure the border. Kamala's like, well, I'm gonna do a bunch of shit that isn't gonna work in the courts or in Congress or the Senate or the House or anything. None of it's going to pass, but I'm gonna be able to say, call up Tim Walz and be like, we did it, Tim. I don't think either of these people can know what they're doing. It's basically what it comes down to is, do you want a man or a woman in the White House?
Dog, this is the official live stream for the fucking debate. Oh, it got 40,000 people watching with 1 minute remaining. They're gonna cook tonight with numbers.
In less than 59 minutes. And I'm Jonathan Carl. When Kamala Harris and Donald Trump
didn't invite. Yeah, I know I didn't get invited.
It will be the very first
I don't go anywhere. Fine, I won't go anywhere because I wasn't fucking invited. Jesus Christ.
And the circumstances of tonight's meeting beyond extraordinary. Kamala Harris is now the Democratic nominee without competing in a single primary. Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, stands indicted for his efforts
Hasan's
to
at 50,000.
And has suggested he won't.
This shit ugly as hell. Should I put my camera on?
Joining us at the
no one's gonna respond
White House
because.
Correspondent Mary Bruce, senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott, both have been out on the campaign trail, crisscrossing the country with the candidates, gearing up for what could be the most consequential moment of this incredibly consequential campaign. Just moments ago, Donald Trump's motorcade arrived here at the National Company.
Looks pretty gay to me.
There you see it. Donald Trump's plane touching down
Pretty
in
gay.
Philadelphia less than 2 hours ago.
I mean, it looks like he just took it in the ass.
Spending days hunkered down
She looks
in
like she
debate
just took
labs
something
in
to the
Pittsburgh.
face, you know what I'm
Both
saying?
campaigns have been here over the past
She's
2
like,
hours to get a firsthand look
that dick
at
didn't
that
taste
debate
too
stage
good.
Mary,
That dick
Kamala
don't
Harris
taste
has
very
been
good.
preparing for this.
Look at, and then, like, what?
Intensely preparing. She even went so far as to set up a mock debate stage. That stage.
There's a booster there. Did you not just see it? She has a boost.
And she's also been turning to Hillary Clinton. I'm told that
It's gonna. This is all gonna divulge down to she's not as tall as me.
With Trump,
Oh,
even
it's
one who
cooked.
embodied the role of Donald Trump in those rehearsals,
She's
even
cooked.
dressing like the former president. Her goal here tonight on that stage is to really reintroduce herself to voters, remind them of her proposals and her policies, and then to pivot and go on the attack. She wants to remind voters of what Donald Trump stands for, what his administration might look like a second
Who
go-round.
lost? I
And yes,
lost?
she is also going to try and get under his skin, to needle him a bit. The challenge for her will be to bait him without getting baited herself.
It's
Both candidates
Jover.
have been here looking at that debate stage, but I have to say, Rachel, Trump seemed to spend a lot of time looking at all the angles, the camera angles. He has been preparing as well.
Yeah, this is a former president who is.
Dude, I don't. I just want this to get fucking over with. I'm already exhausted. What are they gonna say? Like, I mean, I just want to hear this happen so I can get on with my fucking life.
Also with him during that walkthrough on the debate stage, former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, you may remember, she challenged Harris on the debate stage back in 2019.
I'm not paying attention to after any of this. I'm not paying attention to any of this after tonight. Or and like maybe tomorrow morning and like maybe like till Friday, but like after that, I'm done with the presidential race. I'm going ghost. I'm turning everything off. I'm fucking done. I'm watching this one debate. If Kamala Harris decides to pull some like I mean if they pull the regular shit that's just fucking stupid, I'm done. Like, I want out. I'll move to any country.
Brazil is ranking 7th on the viewer location list, not for the first time. Can we get a shout out? Come to Brazil, brother. That being said, we hope Kamala wins. She's less likely to support a coup in our country in 2026.
She has a boost.
That's what you think.
Trump won the coin
That's what
toss
I
in
think.
this
I don't
election. The
fucking
final
care,
word
man.
in this
I
debate.
don't
Vice
I don't
President
care
Kamala Harris
that
choosing
if there's
to vote on
if
the
there's a
right
black
side of the
man,
debate stage.
if there's a
The candidate's
woman,
microphone
if there's
will
a
only be
band.
turned
I
on
don't care.
when
I
it's
just
their
want
turn to
somebody
speak. They
that
will
can
have 2 minutes to
like
answer each
like
question.
talk
Brazil will-
presidentially.
This is
In
the
just
only
60
access
seconds,
they have to
20
Twitter.
questions, which means they'll be paying close attention to this clock right here. The
I
colors
just
will
want to
change
see
as the
somebody
time winds down.
that knows what
Turning
they're
yellow when
talking
there's just
about.
15 seconds left, and
Neither
red
of
when
these
their time is
people
up.
are
And of course,
politicians.
sitting right here will be our very
She's
own
a
David
prosecutor.
Moore and
She
Nancy
throws
Davis, who will
people in
moderate
jail.
the first and likely
Trump
only
is
debate
basically a
before the November
businessman.
election.
So he wants to say, okay, you guys are going to be laissez-faire. And she's like, I want to throw you all in jail. I think I see you all as criminals. I've lived my entire life thinking everyone is a criminal and how I should lock them up and nickel and dime, like nickel, not like nickel and diming like in the money sense, but like she just nitpicks everything. Like, you know, technically speaking, this person did commit treason, so we can put charges to him and lock him up because I'm a prosecutor and I went to X law school.
And Martha,
It's the details, indeed.
the details, and you
Like she, like so one guy just wants to be laissez-faire. The other guy wants to do the fucking. The other woman wants.
Hillary Clinton.
I'm gonna fly out to Austin to attend Sears party.
Right now, you know, I always tell people the
Like, I
first
mean,
thing
there's
I
so
did
many
was
parties
go
going on. Like people are like getting parties and stuff for this, and like they're all gonna say this. They all just say the same shit. They don't watch like a stream like Hasan where like there's like Hasan is an expert but he's unbiased. Like he's a communist, I guess, but he's supporting the Trump and he goes against the other side. So I think Hasan is actually unbiased. I like this stream. It's unbiased. He plays both sides. He jumps back and forth and stuff like that. And like he has a diverse friend group. He has a diverse audience and stuff like that. And everybody here is just kind of like, we're all just like, what the fuck is this shit going on, dude? And like I mean, but it's just like,
And let's remember, he is no ordinary candidate.
I mean,
This
like
is
you gotta
absolutely
realize, like all
ordinary
these liberal
election.
cities are like getting together
Under
tonight, and they're
indictment
like
trying to
slay
overturn
queen.
the last election,
brat.
he has suggested he would
Like
not accept the results
there
if
is
he's
at
not here.
least
We're here at the National
there
Constitution
exists tonight
Center.
one
I'm
group
sure
of
we'll be
people
talking about the
that are going
issues,
to sit there and
but
say
for the first
brat,
time,
slave
you have
queen,
a
and all that
president
shit
who
to
is talking
Kamala
about
Harris speaking.
retribution against his enemies if he gets
And
back
like
in
constantly,
office.
like
He
you
has
know,
actually
like I
suggested
can't even
military
anymore, and like
tribunals
you realize like there's
for his
people out there that are
enemies
gonna be like that,
should
and
he get
they're.
back in power. This is a very different kind of law.
It is a very different kind
I
of
don't.
election.
I mean,
And-
like
and
I don't
just
know.
what you said, John, that military tribunals. I mean, there are military officers out there who served under Trump before who are worried they're going to get pulled back and court-martialed. Looking at his political
His own
opponents,
former chairman of the Joint
his
Chiefs of
own
Staff.
chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Kamala's gonna do that. I bet she locks a bunch of people up. I bet she goes and like goes through and just says fuck all this shit. She already withheld evidence. Like if you give her that power, what is she gonna do? She's a scummy prosecutor, in my opinion. From what I can see, she's a scummy prosecutor. She's not a good prosecutor that became a judge or anything like that. She just likes to throw people in jail. She doesn't care about justice. She likes dunking on people. And you see that in her campaign. She's constantly just like dunking on this person, dunking on this person. Look at me, I can say a slick line, and like Donald Trump's like, you know, the people want me to do this, so I'm gonna go speak for these people that are saying like, hey Donald, we need you to get up there, play Wukong. I can't afford Wukong. I only have $19.27.
He has vowed to pardon them, and I call them patriots. Excuse me. I had an opportunity to ask the former president about that.
What did she just say?
My question is on
Oh, she's this bitch? Fuck her. Get off my fucking screen. Get off my screen. Someone mute her. So I don't care. Mute her. Mute her. No. I don't have a care. No. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I don't want to listen to her. I don't want to. No, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Blah 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 blah.
All that we've discussed and all the chaos of the last several weeks in this campaign, this is essentially a tied race. Terry Moran, our national.
Why is she there? Get off the fucking screen. Bye. You got no. Bye.
Absolutely, John. The whole country knows this is a close race. It's historically close in the modern history of polling. Take a look at the polling average, the 538 national polling average right there.
Prison's not bad at all, dude. You get a tablet and you can study for the MCAT. Everybody that comes out of prison should be landing in med school right after they get out if they serve 10 years. 10 years plus, they should be in med school right away.
Harris leading in 5 of the battlegrounds, but very narrowly.
The reason why they don't get anything is because like we need you can't when you're in jail or you're in prison, you max out at the GED. And like if you've ever been locked up, if you have a book to read, you don't want that book to end. Okay? At least for me, I keep that book, you know, kind of slowly. Like I want like 30 pages a day, you know. I want to be able to sit down and think about it and stuff like that. So if you're like, okay, well, I got 10 years in here and I need to get my GED. I don't care. Like, I mean, they're just like, okay, but like there's nothing past the GED. It's like, okay, I get my GED and now what? Like nothing happens. They don't have anybody in their life to care what they do. Prison reform. Prison reform needs to be that we need to treat people like fucking adults.
The system is tough for white people, which is more divorced from reality than he is from his first 2 wives. Dog, do you really think I'm being serious and sincere?
I don't know. You do that shit all the time and it pisses me off, okay? I want to slap you.
The adults, I think.
I'm not an adult.
The sarcasm refusers.
Well, no, the thing is, sarcasm has turned into saying the dumbest fucking shit in the world.
He did the First Step Act, dude. Oh, hell yeah. NBC's got Laura Trump on.
About his state. We need transparency in our
Who's
leaders,
this?
and
Who
you
is
don't
that?
have to love
She looks
everything
scary.
about Donald Trump. Quite frankly, he himself said, you don't even have to like me. But when you are talking about someone who is going to have the policies that's going to make your life less expensive, that is going to secure our southern border,
that's going to keep us safe, that is going to get us out of
No, you realize like 90% of the American population cannot work with someone they don't like. If they personally find something objectionable about you, they can't work with you. 90% of the country, they can't do it.
Social where he calls her dumb or not that smart or not as good looking as him, or makes a sexual innuendo about how she attained her position in politics.
Well, guess what? Doctors have now decided that men having erections while they're in the hospital room is sexual harassment. So if you pop a boner because someone's sticking their finger up your ass, it's sexual harassment now. You're gonna end with Kamala. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail for popping a boner in the hospital, in the doctor's office.
And they can't fill it up as much. Ultimately, I think that elections come down to kitchen table issues. And again, you don't have to love everything about it.
You're gonna go to jail. Seriously, you get a boner at the wrong time, you're going to jail.
And the future for this
You get a boner.
You know, between these two individuals,
Getting a boner is going to be illegal. You thought it was bad that you thought like, you know, like, oh, everyone's going to see me have a little bit of a chub when I'm going up in front of the class in school to give my presentation because Sally's wearing a nice skirt today and I just can't do it. My hormones, like, they're going to throw you in jail for that if you get a boner. You're going to jail for a boner. If Kamala wins, you're going to go to jail. That's where they're going. They're already pushing this weird shit. That was on Reddit, front page. They're saying boner, sexual harassment. Can ask any guy, do you think I can control when I get a boner?
The 2016 Democratic nominee, we have learned, have spoken within the last several days where Clinton provided Harris advice and guidance as the only other woman to do a debate like this, one-on-one with Donald Trump in the past. Among that advice, we're told specifically that Clinton told Harris that Trump may try to bait her during the course of the conversation, as we've witnessed in the past, and specifically said that if that happens, that she should turn it back on Donald Trump himself and try to provoke him directly. One thing to keep an eye on as we anticipate these two on stage a short time from now. We're told that Clinton and Harris have spoken several.
But where are they that they are wearing like this much shit? Where is it that's like cold enough?
They're in Antarctica, bro. It's Antarctica. They're in Antarctica. It's global warming. You didn't hear?
Mock debate sessions, many of them happening here in the state in Pittsburgh. In the course of that time, they had TV lighting. They had, so she could have the real experience, and the stage on which she would stand. That she has watched some debate clips of Donald Trump in the past to prepare herself for what she may anticipate tonight. We're also hearing now from her husband. Of course, he is the second gentleman of the United States.
The second gentleman.
The first gentleman if he wins.
First gentleman.
If she wins, well, we heard from him in the form of a tweet a short time ago where he said in part, and I'll pull it up to read to you, Kamala, I can't wait for everyone to see you in action tonight. You've got this, and I've got you. Earlier in a separate post,
Shut
he
up,
said
Doug.
that she is ready. He could tell it by looking.
Stop Doug posting. Post about Ella. This is not good for Kamala, okay? No more Doug posting. We're putting a shutdown on the Doug post.
As a former prosecutor,
He's too much of a goober. He's too much of a dork.
She prosecuted some of those Supreme Court nominees in the past.
We get it, bro. He's a wife guy,
Very
okay?
familiar as people look back to her
Big
experiences in
wife
the Senate,
guy.
She'll be able to prosecute the case.
Doug's a big wife guy, the
All things
biggest.
to keep an eye on as we get started here on a historic evening in Philadelphia.
All right, Peter, thank you. For more, let's bring in North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, who is a surrogate for the Harris campaign. Governor, it's good to see you. So 60% of voters, nearly 60% in a recent poll, said they want to see change. Kamala Harris is the incumbent vice president. How do you make the argument that she's a change candidate when she's been in office for 3.5 years?
Well, first, the record that she and Joe Biden have established as president and vice president are bringing change to this country with investment in high-speed internet, fighting prescription drug costs, expanding health insurance, investing in infrastructure. Those things are long generational investments that are changing America, and that's a good thing. But she's also laid out her own economic plan. She sees that people are facing higher costs. She understands child care, unlike Donald Trump, who clearly doesn't have a clue about child care. Neither does J.D. Vance, who thinks that grandparents and uncles and aunts should look after children. She wants to reinstate the child care tax credit. She wants to help small businesses instead of big corporations. So I think she can lead tonight. She can lead with her path for a new way forward and really bring a lot of people who have been disaffected, who really haven't voted the last few times. I think that she can excite them. History is going to be made this year. And North Carolina voted for Barack Obama in 2008. We're going to vote for Kamala Harris in 2024 and make history again.
Governor, let me ask you, in a recent interview, Harris seemed to shrug off some of the personal attacks that Donald Trump has levied her way, calling it from the playbook of the past. Will she have to take on these things more directly in this debate setting tonight?
Well, it'll be interesting to see that in the middle of all of his word salads and lies, which we know are coming, whether he hurls insults at her while she's there in person. We'll see if he does. I suspect that she will brush them off pretty quickly and head into making sure she's putting meat on the bones of her policy, telling the country about the direction that she wants to take it, making sure that we shore up the middle class, making sure that the tax breaks go to the middle class and not the billionaire friends of Donald Trump. She's going to distinguish herself from Donald Trump in a strong way, and I think those insults, whether they come or not on the stage, she'll go right past them and make sure she's sticking to the issues that the American people will care about.
You know, it's interesting you say that because today on debate day, the Harris campaign released an ad seeming to want to goad Donald Trump with a clip from the convention. Let me roll you a little portion of this.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems. Oh, she had a big crowd.
Look at these fucking losers. And this is like the platform where they stole from me. And it's owned by a bunch of freaks now.
Interesting, because everybody says they want to talk about policy, and then
like, I mean, all these people are using technology that was my idea, and they just stole it. And it's just like, ah, fuck you.
This is effective, and are you sure it's not going to make people think, well, this is just more of the same?
These people are fucking stupid, dude. We didn't invite you. Like, what are you talking about? Who the fuck is Steve? And why are they, like, on my fucking computer? These fucking freaks, dude. And they're like, we're hackers. We're watching you. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking losers. You got one fat guy, one creep. You have, like, one girl, and she looks like a fucking tranny, and she's getting fucking groomed. Like, you guys are fucking weirdos. Holy shit. You guys don't even know who the professor is. You guys are fucking retards. Look at us. We're doing work. We're so smart. No, you're not. You're all fucking retarded.
And when Kamala Harris talks about how she gets up
this
every
guy
morning,
stinks. No, this is good. This is good for like old people.
I think people see.
It's good in general, though. Like I think talking about how selfish Donald Trump is like pretty decent. It's a decent way to like remind people of what it used to look like when he was president. Hasan, it's regular 2016. The reverse 2016 is off. Representative Debbie Dingell, who raised the alarm about Clinton's Michigan support in 2016, expresses concern about Harris's standing in the debate. Yeah, I think it probably has to do with Gaza. She's going to keep losing momentum in Michigan every day that passes where Israel kills another, like... Israel will, like, go and fucking bomb another refugee camp, like another tent. Israel will go and crater another fucking tent city, and then, you know...
Like, who the fuck even goes on Reddit anymore? Reddit's full of fucking retards.
We're talking about Michigan.
Let's see what Reddit's saying. Let's see some retarded shit Reddit wants to say.
I think it actually even hurts her a little bit in Pennsylvania.
Around 5, 6 o'clock, we're expecting the worst conditions around 6 till Thursday at 2 a.m.
Okay, we're moving away from the hurricane forecast, getting back to the real
people
hurricane.
think that's an indication of something, and let me tell you, there are no complaints. And so whatever you think is the bottom that he would go to, no, he would go further than that. If that's his strength, his weakness is a lack of discipline, and the fact that when he's told,
PA doesn't have as many Arab Muslim Americans as Michigan. No, I know. I'm aware of this. I think in Michigan it's entirely too consequential. In Pennsylvania, I said it will matter as well.
about it. But
I'm just looking at the polls, man.
We
I'm
didn't
looking at the
invite
polls
you.
that
My
I'm looking
friends
at the
brought
polls
me,
that
you
says
fucking dumb
that,
fucking cunts.
Kamala Harris stands to only gain and lose nothing if she were to separate herself from Biden
about
on Gaza.
whether he'll do it or not.
I also think the point you were making about Trump not talking like a politician was certainly true in 2016, also to some extent in 2020. But just like if you go back and you watch old videos of Joe Biden in those old debates, the Donald Trump of today is not the Donald Trump of yesteryear. And he has slowed down himself in a lot of ways. He's not as quick on his feet. He doesn't talk like a politician, but it makes a lot less sense than even compared to 4 years ago. And
Oh, they're trolling me. Oh god, they're trolling me on the Hasan stream. Look at these fucking losers, dude. They just say stupid shit. Come on, say some more stupid shit in the chat.
Trump is
Come on, fucking losers.
He's struggling with putting sentences together, with making points make sense.
Fuck,
And he
Michigan,
struggled
40%.
at the debate that you all moderated. It just
What's
wasn't
up, fucking
the number
losers?
one thing that people noticed
Too
because something
bad
else was
you're
happening
hurt
on that
Jews
debate
already.
stage.
So something that Speaker Johnson has told.
What? What does that mean?
Alright, like, this dude's such a fucking loser,
Chatter, you
dude.
didn't even, like, shit sling correctly.
I don't do anything correctly. You guys are just all fucking retarded.
Okay. Try
Social
again.
media, a crude suggestion that she had exchanged sexual favors to get ahead in her career. There's zero evidence for that, and it's a disgusting, sleazy, slimy thing to say. I have to believe that his advisors are most worried of him going there.
Absolutely. They're worried about what they can't even fathom, even beyond that, even that was a repost. And, you know, it's totally understandable that we are focusing on Donald Trump because he is a character unlike any that we have ever covered in our lifetime. But I do think that tonight the focus is going to be much more by the people who matter most, which the undecided voters, particularly in places like where we are right now in Pennsylvania, on her. Because he's a known quantity and she isn't. And if you look at all the polls, particularly those from over the weekend, Jake, the question of who is she and what does she stand for, she has a lot of room to grow. Now, she has a lot of room to grow, and she also has room to fall. So there's risk and reward with the fact that she's a bit unknown. But I do think that the sort of reframing a little bit of how, certainly I'll tell you how I'm going to be looking at it, is instead of, you know, what is he going to do because he's such a wild card, I'm really interested to see how she presents herself in a way that those voters will get to understand.
Well, and to Chris's point about Trump's strengths in the debate stage and looking at those poll numbers for Harris, one of the things that he did well in 2016 was he's able
Oh,
to
look at the
find
fucking hackers. You guys, we're hackers. We hacked his computer.
Against them.
We're hacking the random kid that just wants to help the world. Okay, guys, like, okay, you're getting blown up. The war is starting. We're actually going to war.
Obviously, many more times than
It's not a joke. I'm actually killing you guys. You guys are getting killed. This bitch looks fucking freaky. There's all these random people that you could be worried about, but you worry about me. Like, look at these fucking freaks on the TV. Do you worry about them? But no, you worry about the guy that was trying to be nice to you on the internet and trying to make it entertaining. So you decide to gang up on me because I'm an easy target. You guys are just a bunch of fucking losers. I have some random fucking guy as my psychiatrist, and it's just like, whatever. Like, I mean, like, what the fuck? You guys are fucking losers.
Because she is going to be trying to get under his skin. I was at Trump Tower on Friday when he held a press conference just hours after appealing the E.G.
I kind of am. I'm not important at all. I sit in my room and I play Dota. And I trash talk Russians. Oh geez, I'm doing too much.
What a sensitive issue it is for him. Basically,
oh no, I jerk off.
campaign. This is something that she could use, that she could could invoke
Oh, no.
to get under his skin, and may very well do so tonight. His campaign isn't quite sure how he'll respond to that.
I mean, it's
Another
like,
take on
whatever.
What to expect tonight when California Governor Gavin Newsom joins us here in Philly. It's all
It's
leading
not
up to
fucking
Kamala
real.
Harris
I
and
can't believe that they have these fucking level of
on
retarders.
CNN in just minutes.
Look at it.
Was I ever a fan of Caitlin Collins? No, she used to be. I think wasn't Caitlin Collins a Daily Wire correspondent originally?
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I'm speaking.
I'm speaking.
Look at how much of a dick she is.
From early in her career to her Senate run in 2016, when her opponent awkwardly dabbed.
So there's a clear difference between the candidates.
Am I
in this
stressed?
race.
Why would I be stressed?
She's white.
brother? Why
She's
would I be
white
stressed
here.
at all?
She's white here. Oh look, I'm Crystal.
You can't be
Someone was
stressed if
trying to be
you
nice to
are-
me on the
if you
internet
have
and
no-
like create friendship, and I
assumptions,
ignored him,
no-
but then I
no
silently
belief at
attacked
this
him my
point.
whole life. And I'm fat. These fucking
If you
losers,
keep your
dude.
expectations low, then you can be pleasantly surprised. If the Democratic
Who's
Party
Joe?
ends
What?
up
Joe
exceeding
Torok,
their
the fucking
already
freaky
low
ass, the fucking
expectations.
freaky ass, fucking redhead, fucking ginger fuck. The guy I tried to come up and invite him because he like, and then he gets all freaked out because I talked to him. How dare a guy talk to me? Fucking weirdo, dude. Jesus Christ.
There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. For his part, Mr. Trump has more debate experience as a presidential nominee.
Hasan has nothing to worry about. If Trump wins, he gets a tax break, brother. Yeah, totally. I love Donald Trump. That's why I spent most of my professional career shitting on him. You know?
That's kind of funny. You spend your life shitting on this guy and he's winning all over the place. Look at him, he's so fantastic. People make fun of his appearance all the time, and then they're like, well, you can't make fun of me for my appearance.
Stand back and stand by.
Candidate Trump's first debate against Hillary Clinton in 2016
He doesn't even know what that
still holds
means.
the record for the most watched ever, 84 million viewers. At later face-offs, the two.
You guys don't even like why? Like I'm just laughing at you guys assuming shit. Like you guys have no idea what half this shit means.
It's Mr. Trump memorably looming behind his opponent.
None of you were there. You don't get to know. Everyone's just laughing at you people. Like what the fuck? No, you. I'm so cool. That's like obviously like I'm a complete fucking loser. Dude's like lying about being a professor and he sits at home off daddy's money and plays VR video games. Wow, dude, are you gonna go pro? 29. Wow.
We're gonna make it great again.
Now, some of those moments that you just saw, maybe mitigated
What
by
the
what
spent
we're
42
talking about at tonight's debate. Think about those mics muted when it's not each candidate's turn to speak.
Like, I mean, to actually do this shit in real life is fucking weird, dude. Like, do they not get that?
Candidate must stay behind their microphone. No stage wandering.
Like, to show up and say these lies in real life is like fucking weird.
What happens first during the debate? Predict what
Look at me, I'm in a movie. This is all scripted. I got this far on it.
First Gamba is out, ladies and gentlemen. We got 8.
I can't even understand a goddamn word any of my professors say. I had one good white professor to teach me this shit.
I think it's part of the
Trump
mission,
mics
but
gets
the other part of the mission
muted.
is to think about that 28%.
Submissions are open. You can gamble with channel points. You don't get nothing with channel points.
So what's tricky about this,
Trump's
Lester,
mic
if you're
get
the vice
muted.
president,
Kamala's
is
mic gets
a lot of
muted.
Democrats out
Trump
there
says
have been
borders
waiting for
are.
somebody to
Kamala
eviscerate
says
Donald
liar.
Trump. They might progressive
says
Democrats and other
Haitian.
Democrats who might be rooting for that.
Kamala
That is
laughs
not
into
the
the
right
mic.
strategy
They
for the
shake
totality of this
hands.
debate,
None of
because
the
that
above.
28% who want more information, who want to know more about her positions, that may not be
I don't know
what
why
they're
y'all
looking
put none
for.
of the above on here, but fuck it, why not?
She has 30% roughly of the electorate. that's
Because
still
they're
curious.
gonna walk
We're gonna
out
bring you in
and
here. Donald
and
Trump
wave
is the better
first.
course. It's
Duh.
classified
Got him, dude. I'm Zed, dude. Look at me and my voice. I've worked on this voice my whole life.
Harris is going to try and do is make people forget her record as vice president.
I'm drinking coffee, so I'm like super pissed off, dude.
There weren't wars breaking out all over the world. We had a rational, sane southern border policy. So he's got to remind people.
He started the war within his first week in office. Like within 3 days, he decides to taunt Putin. He like has no. His head's up. His head has been up his ass for the past probably 8 years. And then he's like, oh yeah, Putin, I actually was the hardcore guy he was afraid of. It was that nigger, Obama. I said the bad word. I mean, he's like, yeah, it was Obama, that scary black man that was keeping him down. I got this. I know what he's really afraid of. He knows I got Barack. I can text Barack any second and get a gangbanger around me. He won't step foot in my turf. Okay, yeah, I sniff my toilet paper to see if I'm sick or if I have blood coming out of my ass because I'm afraid of ass cancer. Okay, any more questions? You guys have no idea how to check yourself for cancer, but you guys just keep assuming shit. They're just retards.
Looking in the past,
they're just all stupid. All these people are just retards.
Election ever. People want a forward-looking plan and vision. So the other part of what she needs
She's
to
been
do
preparing
is tell
this
people
speech for the
exactly what she's
past
going to do.
Do you think she's made
month.
it unnecessarily hard on herself?
Like she goes home and sits there and reads through, and it's like, this is what's gonna happen.
She did one interview.
What? And then when she just pops up and says random shit, she looks like she's a meth addict. I'm a clean meth addict. This is the best. Were these the homeless people that they picked up the street? Who the fuck are these random people? I've never seen these people before in my fucking life.
One that is like in line with what he is already presented.
They could put random chatter 556 on the fucking screen and just say shit. You guys have no idea he's a Twitch chatter. You just put him in a suit, put the makeup on him. That's that guy. He's random Twitch chatter 556.
Swap out would be if he were to present like a weed opinion.
Trump already said he's pro-weed.
He is desperate enough.
He already said it, dude.
He's so desperate.
Where have you been? He's already said he's pro-weed.
Obviously, he's going after cranks.
What, they think I'm smoking weed at work with my fucking vape because they don't, their heads up their fucking ass and they don't know fucking shit? Do you know how fucking stupid, like, 99% of this country really is? Like, they honestly have bought into the scam that thinking that vaping is bad. Because these people are like they're the fucking Mormons that are like, we can't have people doing anything. Real brains only. I don't want that evil devil coming in and taking over my brain. David Blaine on my brain?
He is desperate when you are going back to the guy that you
There's a
didn't
bunch
even
of gay
offer
shit,
a phone
dude.
call to after you got shot, or didn't offer a position to after you got shot. And being like, actually, if you fucking pull out of the race and endorse me, I will give you a position. That spells desperation. It's understandable, though, because before the swap out happened, Donald Trump thought that he was going to cruise to a W. Okay? Now
they both want to make America great again, and there's only one strategy and procedure to do that.
Kamala Harris is actually
so if you want to make America great again, we agree on the same shit.
And she should be fucking desperate to pick up as many votes as possible, perhaps even more desperate than Donald Trump, considering where this race should be at this moment.
Having a guy that doesn't know what he's attracted to sexually teaching your children is not a good look.
Even though Donald Trump's in a losing
he doesn't know what he's
position,
constantly freaking out and obsessed about sex, like to the point where he has to present and do a certain way and be like, I need you to know that I'm a sexual freak.
With Trump by saying he uses Palestinian as a slur, which is a very weak attack point. Trump whines about Biden dropping out in the first 15 minutes. She laughs at him, and that's when he gets triggered. Yeah, these are incredibly safe predictions, especially the Gaza thing. Yes, Kamala Harris is gonna fucking repeat the same goddamn thing she's repeated a million times over at this point.
presidential debate. Even apparently President Zelensky expected to tune in. And the outcome, I think, of this presidential debate is going to be critical to the outcome of Ukraine's defense against Russia's invasion. Martha?
Okay, thanks so much, Ian. And Ian and I have both spent a great deal of time in Afghanistan.
Another aspect that we didn't talk about is that they're probably going to get, like, Kamala Harris will talk about Ukraine, I suspect. She might even say things like Donald Trump wants Ukraine to be invaded, and then Trump will then still turn around and be like, no, I want to end the war. You just want to continue the war. They'll both be really reactionary towards China, obviously. They'll try to outcompete who's worse on China. I think one of the best counters to the fucking Trump, like 13 of our best soldiers were killed during Afghanistan. Could be a number of different counters to that. Obviously, number one being it's your Afghan withdrawal plan that you were too cowardly to actually pull through on.
We didn't invite
Joe
you.
Biden actually pulled the trigger on. But a more effective counter to that would be 67 soldiers died in Afghanistan in your 4 years of the presidency. 13 died. Not a single more soldier should ever die. That's why this administration pulled out of Afghanistan. Obviously, Kamala Harris would never say that, though, because that goes against the I am going to have the strongest, most hard-dick military of all time. So, you know.
Yeah, man, I'm so cool. I bought a Bitcoin and then I bought a hacker to hack this kid's computer and bother him.
Turns out when you
because
pull
I
out,
have
an
nothing
active
going for
war
me in
zone,
life.
Less soldiers die.
Cool, dude. You guys are so cool.
We'll see. Sanders announces support to nuke the filibuster. Okay.
Look at this. You can't have a job either. We're India. Okay, you guys are going to fucking war then. Congrats.
Would be the worst counter. You called veterans suckers and losers.
You realize, like, either way, this war escalates because that's what Joe Biden did. There's no just stopping this war at this point.
I think there's a lot of stuff overall where, you know.
Do you want it to be semi-managed or a fucking complete disaster?
Really good opportunity of like watching him unwind, and we'll see. I mean, Kamala Harris is a black woman. Trump.
If you want to be, if you want your apartment broken into and you stabbed to death in the middle of the night, vote Kamala Harris. That's what's gonna happen during the war. If you vote Trump, you might actually be able to keep your regular way of life while they invade the rest of the fucking world.
One thing, but he might actually fucking start, you know, bouldering Kamala and saying some insane shit.
Harris, 1+.4.
Look really bad.
They're all fucking stupid. Here's Wisconsin, 4.3. We have a biker guy that knew Nick, and he likes fags. Vote for the fag lovers. Guys, just be nice. They're so hurt people. Let them just shoot everybody. Okay, they need to get it out of their system.
Biggest polling miss in 2020.
Whatever, dude.
Joe Biden well ahead, nearly 10 points on average. He won the state by less than 1 point. The polling here was way off in 2016 as well.
Yeah, same here, dude.
Miss in Michigan too. States with large blue-collar white populations where Trump has run up very big numbers. The polls didn't sufficiently capture that in 16 and 20. Is that going to be different in 2024, or is there more Trump support in some of these states than it appears in the polls? That's a major question to think about as you see more numbers come out. And then you just see in this column right here, the electoral votes. Again, 7 core battleground states. Where's tonight's debate? It is in the state that is first among equals when it comes to battleground states. 19 electoral votes in Pennsylvania, more than any other. What does that mean functionally? If you're one of these campaigns and you lose Pennsylvania, mathematically, if you want to offset that, you got to win at least 2 others to make up for the 19 that you're losing out on in Pennsylvania. This is the king of the battleground states.
Steve, not to bring it back memories, but weren't we here until Saturday, the week of the election, waiting for Pennsylvania?
That's right, 11:30 Saturday morning in 2020.
Oh my God, but who's counting, right? Okay, well, we shall see. Thank you. That sets it up very nicely for our next guest. What do voters want to hear from candidates tonight? These battleground voters, they're the deciders. Kate Snow is in Pennsylvania talking to those undecided swing voters. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Savannah. Yeah, we're at the Churchville Inn. It's a restaurant in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That's right outside of Philadelphia. This is a county that really could be pivotal in the state of Pennsylvania. And as Steve was just saying, it could be pivotal Pennsylvania, as it goes, could be pivotal for the whole election. So we gathered 3 voters with me. They are all undecided voters. Each one of you is registered differently. We have Lynn Kelleher, who's a registered Republican and a realtor here in town. We have Hannah Reed, an independent, a mom of 3. And then we have Andrew Wallace, who's registered Democrat and owns this place.
One of the Bernards, like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I don't like these fucking people. They were not nice to me. I tried to be nice to people, and everybody decided to be mean to me. So why would I be nice to everybody? Like, I get, like, I mean, I could just ban you. And like people don't get that, like, they're purposely getting all this shit sent to their computer and they're getting trolled because I don't fucking like them.
Between economics and morals.
Like, what are you gonna do? Go to DuckDuckGo? Do you know what happens with that shit? Like, what the yeah, go to Microsoft. They're really gonna be really nice to you. Yeah, man.
Morals or lack thereof. But she, I think, is talking a lot of fluff. She hasn't said anything substantive. I don't know that she has the experience or
Bro, I'm sorry. Small business owners should be jailed, dog. That's it.
Yeah, man. Jail the small business owners. Is Delaney Bernard watching this? She's a fucking dumbass bitch and she looks like white trash. She looks like complete fucking trash. She played Division II ball. She's a fucking retard. She's trashy as hell.
The fate of this country will be decided by the collective dumbest people on the planet. Ah!
Yeah, dude. You don't like smart people? You don't like people that just buy a random asset and then just and then say you need to be working. I worked hard playing RuneScape.
It's about who can get one over on the other, to the point that we are...
I got my business degree. I lied about going into early childhood education, but I got my marketing degree, and guess what? I work in recruiting. And so basically, I just give, like, all the people that are, like, told, and I just let them into the job to destroy the company because I'm a fucking dumb bitch. Look at my brown roots. Haha. And look at me, I look like a fucking retarded girl, and I have a boyfriend. His name's Harrison. I don't fucking give a shit.
They think that they know what's best for me.
Look at me, you. We're playing cards. I should have just fucking lifted and then just bullied the fuck out of people. Yeah, Carlos Hyde, you're a dumb fucking nigger.
Bro, come on.
With her own ideas. So
God, I fucking hate everybody. And then I have this fucking gook following me from RuneScape around all day, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go room with Peter. I think Peter's the guy that did all this. Peter did it all. I didn't like Nick at first. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Did he play? Like, I don't fucking know. Just, like, shut the fuck up. I don't fucking like, you guys are all fucking assholes. Like, who the fuck are you people? Your did your parents invest some money in my company that was not gonna fucking fail, and now you think you're some kind of genius and your genes are, like, whatever? Like, I'm so fucking sick of this world because, like when I think about it, like, yeah, I fucking exist and I did this shit, and now all these people are in these positions where they shouldn't fucking be because people think money or, like, investing and all this stupid shit, they're just fucking, like, look at these fucking retards on the screen right now. That dog is the best thing on the fucking TV right now. I would vote for that dog before any of these fucking retards. They have no fucking idea what they're doing.
And voters perceive them to be.
When asked which way they lean, 90% of undecided voters lean one way and will vote that way. It's a fake constituency. It's about voters versus non-voters. There's 5 states winning on this analysis. Yeah. Yeah, the only real people that matter in this situation are the people that voted for Kamala Harris, that don't know if they'll vote. Voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that don't know if they'll vote for Kamala Harris this time around. That's it. Those are the only people that you need to bring forward. And the Harris campaign is not doing a good enough job bringing those people out. So it's kind of stupid to have this conversation back and forth. Like,
okay, so here's what you're voting for if you vote for Kamala Harris.
That she could tackle
so those people, because you guys have decided to want to play this, like, little, like, this privilege game that you guys, this privilege, like, you have more privilege than me, so you can't tell me what to do.
Really hit the button on that they should be talking about.
So basically, like, we're gonna bring in a bunch of people that actually are really fighting in wars, have had their testicles cut off, have actually faced genocides and all this other shit, and then we're gonna tell you people that think that slavery from 200 years ago is still significant that you're a fucking dumbass, and they're gonna beat the shit out of you when you steal something. And then guess what? They're not gonna go to jail because they have this little thing and stuff above you. Like, you guys get that? Like, you can either vote for the guy that you have all labeled as, like, that you all think is, like, the worst guy, or you can vote for, like, the thing where it's like, we're done. Like, either way, like, shit's changing. Like, we're done with this, like, bullshit. We have a plan for it. So, like I don't, like, I mean, like, do you want this shit? He code switched, like, whatever, like, what? No, I just talked like how I'm talking online. Like, she's fucking stupid. I'm making fun of the fucking fat black. Look at me. I'm just sitting here code switching in front of all my friends. I'm online code switching and talking like this, and then when I'm around all the white people, I'm so nice. Like, what the fuck? It's fucking like I'm like literally like I'm like holding back tears and just like trying not to break down at work. Like, she's just like, oh, look at me. Like, I'm like this ghetto girl when I'm with my people. I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting all this money from them because of Black Lives Matter. And then, like, we got all this stuff where we have to give money to these black businesses. And it's probably fake, but, like, whatever, fucking ever. And then when she's around all these people, it's like, oh yeah, totally, yeah, okay. And it's just like I fucking hate people like this. And, like, I hate people that are just, like, silently fucking judging people. And I fucking hate all this fucking bullshit. I'm just sick of them. Like, I mean, like, you guys, like, so most of these people that are, like, having a say in politics, they sit inside their fucking house all day and read books. They didn't go outside as kids. They didn't grow up with any fucking siblings. So they've never faced conflict in their life. The biggest adversity they've ever faced is someone, like, telling them, like, I don't want you in my group, or not getting invited to the first grade party because, you know, you don't do anything and you tattled on everybody in the fucking class. And, like, I mean, like that's also another thing. Like, you get to college and then it's like you're around a bunch of fucking narcs probably. So, like, I'm at this fucking school, but like and it's like you know, like I shouldn't be there because I should be at fucking Ivy and, like, doing whatever the fuck I want. Actually, I shouldn't even be in school. I should have been in college at fucking 3 years old. So, like, whatever. You can keep bitching about that, but whatever. And, like, I mean, they're, like, getting, like, oh my god, I smell the weed, so I'm getting high. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, I mean, like, do you want me to, like, inject, like lace the fucking water fountain with LSD or something just so you can shut up and I can watch you freak the fuck out once you realize that other people, like, the fact that, like, people like get freaked out because when they see someone else committing crime, they are like, holy shit, that's actually a real fucking person with, like, thoughts and stuff, and they can do things, and, like, I can't do that. And, like, they have this fucking, like, just fucking, like, brain aneurysm, and they break down and they're like, what? The TV says that's bad. And, like, they break the fuck down, dude. Like, when you, like if you smoke weed and, like, your neighbor sees that, like, they're freaking the fuck out. They're like, no, dude, like he's gonna fucking die, dude. We need to save him. Like, let me tell you about this. Like, I've had, like, this fucking retard. I took my friend to the hospital because he hit his head, and, like, I mean, I hit my head, and I was kind of fucked up about it, and I didn't see it, but, like, I'm not trusting the retards that he was with to not, like, because, like, I don't fucking know, so I'm gonna go take the kid to the fucking hospital, because if I got my head hit, I'd want to be taken to the hospital after I got my head hit. Like, all I know is, like, okay, this kid's got to go to the hospital. Like, I need to take him to the doctor. Like, me knowing the kid, like, I actually care about him. I don't care if he doesn't care about me. I'm taking him to the fucking doctor. And then, like, this kid, he's copying Tim and doing it better. And doing the no tie thing. Who the fuck is Tim? But anyway, so, like, I mean, like, it's just some, like, bullshit, dude. And, like, I got Hasan muted, and, like, I mean, like, it's 8:51. This shit's about to pop off. We made it, boys. But, like, I mean, like, it's just fucking stupid. Like, I mean, like, people, like, I honestly just want to live in a state where people get treated the way they treat other people. all day, every day. Every time they do something, they treat people the way you treat people. The way you treated people your entire life is how it is. But guess what? So if we were to enact that policy, you have to look at the two candidates. That's how I'm thinking about this. I believe in the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. So we can either have Trump do that or Kamala do that. So I would trust Trump just based on what I've seen because, you know, he's the known, like that lady said. We know him, so you can just say, I trust Trump. But if I look at Kamala, I think she's going to nickel and dime me on my treated people the way I want to be treated. She's going to focus on all the worst things that I've ever done and take all the good things that I've ever done and say, well, you know what? You profiled that person as a she when that's actually a he. They appear in completely feminine clothing, but that is actually a he. And so you're going to prison for 25 years. And you're going to do hard labor. Like, that's how I see, like, Kamala Harris. Like, with Trump, I see someone that is forgiving. He sees people, and he doesn't want people to have their entire life fucked up because they got drugged they're getting drugged or something, or, like, some shit goes south. Like, I mean, like, he's been through shit. He lived a real life with, like, real struggles and stuff. Like, people think, like, just because you have money that it's like, no. There's levels to this shit. The more money, more problems. It may be hard for you to realize that, but when you're poor, no one gives a fuck. You have nothing to offer people. Like, people don't fucking care. So, like, I mean, you have other poor people, and it's just, like, whatever. But, like, when you're rich, like, you have people trying to actively fuck you over. They really seriously hate you because they've been, like, trained and, like, conditioned to think this type of shit. And they want you to be broke and destitute and lose your legs and be, like, dead. They want you dead if you have money. But if you're broke, they're just like, okay, yeah, you're bad, like, whatever. And so, like, I see Trump as someone that understands the trials and tribulations as what people go through trying to make it in this country and trying to be something. When I see Kamala, I see a proletariat or, like, a bureaucracy person. I just see a government shill. She's just a government bitch baby. Her entire life, she's been a prosecutor just serving the fucking government. And she wants to serve those same people and like keep doing that because that's all she knows is just doing shit for people and just getting a paycheck and being like, well, I don't have to actually try that hard because everything's handed to me. I have a whole fucking team of cops saying, here's the evidence, do this and do that. And like all I have to do is stand up there and talk. And that's all she's doing. And so I see Kamala as someone that thinks like, oh, life is really easy. So if you fuck up once, you deserve to be like, you deserve a bad sentence. Like she honestly believes like, I locked someone up for, like, you smoked weed, like, you deserve jail time. She honestly believed that. She tried her hardest in these cases. She never cut a plea deal or talked to any judges and was like, you know what, he needs drug counseling or anything like that. She locked these guys up. So I don't see that she cares. But I see Trump, and I see someone that actually, he just because he got money, he tried and was like, I need to prove myself. I gotta keep going and stuff like that. Like, whatever. Like, he could invest in the S&P 500. People think, like, oh, the S&P 500. Guess what if Trump invested all of his money in the S&P 500 in 2008? And then in 2020? Like, you realize, easily he could have been fucking bankrupt. Like, it's not like this just, oh, he just had to do it. Like, it's so simple. And, like, people, like, that's what the Kamala side is doing. They are like, oh, it's so easy. They have hindsight is 20/20. That's all they are good for is looking back in the past and saying, well, you should have done that. Like, duh. Like, look at this line. It went straight up. Like, how'd you not fucking know that? Like, that's how they are. And like that, she's to that person to the core. Is that where it's just like that's that hindsight is 20/20 type of shit. And they don't see that. They honestly are like, well, you should have fucking known. I told you so, dude. Like, and it's like, you didn't say that. You actually said the fucking opposite. And so they gaslight and all that shit. But, like, Trump, he's someone that, you know, like, I got fucked over. So, like, I mean, I bought. Like, fuck it, we bought. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm going to play the fucking tape. I'm going to take a piss.
The debate. But, you know, don't come in here and get mad at me. It's about to start.
I had you
muted.
muted.
What else about to start is the top of the hour ad break, and you will see them at the top of the hour. It'll be 3 minutes long.
Don't come in here and get mad at me.
If you no longer want to see those ads, however, and I'm running it early before the debate starts, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free.
How did he? If it's live, how did he just 2 times it? How are you 2 timesing the live?
Free with a Twitch Prime, of course.
See, it's fucking fake.
You can get your bingo cards ready. ! Bingo. That's another thing. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. It's coming for you. But if you're not lucky, you gotta make your own luck. You know. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Holy shit! Everyone is writing. ! Bingo. Where's that
background, her middle class background, that she's a child of immigrants. They really want her team really interested to find her. Also, they found out how she does that.
All right, thank you so much. Let's turn now into the Trump campaign. Joins us now. We hear from the Trump campaign about preparations tonight.
So if you've got a hunch,
Well, Shannon, you've heard the former president say time and again that he does not do traditional debate prep. That campaign is prep, but we also have sources that over the last few days he has been up and down at Mar-a-Lago doing extensive policy sessions. And watch for him to do 2 things tonight. 2 things that his campaign wants him to do. Number 1, tie Vice President Harris to President Biden. Make her own what's going on with the economy, what's going on with immigration. And number 2, remind voters some of the positions she took back in 2020 when she was running for president that was left of center. Try to paint her as simply too liberal for those moderate swing voters in places like the suburbs of Philadelphia. Of course, that is the plan, that is what the campaign wants, but it's all going to be about the execution in the moment, especially if Harris tries to debate the former president into an outburst. Savannah.
All right, Joshua, thank you.
Let's bring back Kristen Walker and Hallie Jackson. I want to talk about how the vice president has cast herself in this campaign as
Things
the
are heating up for
prosecutor.
credit cards all over the country
Going
with a wave of
against
high
Donald
interest
Trump.
debt sweeping the
Are
nation.
there
But we're
limits
seeing a
to
cooling
that in
effect for
this
SoFi
format, do you
members who
think,
consolidated with the
of
SoFi
coming
personal
off in
loan.
a
They could save big
prosecutorial
by
way?
turning their debt into
Absolutely.
one
When I've
low fixed
spoken
monthly
to
payment.
allies
We're
who are close to
predicting
her, they
no
say
fees
her biggest
required and
challenge
as soon
tonight
as same-day
is
funds
getting
up to $100,000.
specific, but not
You
too
can view your rate in
specific. She's
60
got to
seconds
tell
with
the
no
story
impact to
of
your credit
how
score.
the
Visit
Harris administration would
SoFi.com/summer to learn more. Back to you in the studio. Loans originated by SoFi Bank Canada. Member FDIC.
How
Terms
would
and
she
conditions apply.
change
NMLS
things right now?
69681.
Does she acknowledge to
2
some
million
extent
people, and the current results in Washington that came in last month showed
that the
roughly
economy
like
is
a
not where she wants it
4
to be,
result.
and
So,
really lay out in more
that's really
detail
good
what
for
she wants to
Democrats.
see. Yes,
The
she's going
problem,
to
and
prosecute
something
the
that you
case
keyed in
against
on
Donald Trump on
a lot,
a
which is
range of
completely
different issues.
correct,
She'll accuse
is
him
that, like, if Kamala
of
can
switching
match
his
this
opinion,
performance,
particularly when it
she'll
comes
probably
to
be fine.
the issue of
But the
abortion
thing is that
and
she's a totally new
reproductive rights.
person.
But again,
People don't
she's
really know
got
what
to
to make
walk
of her.
that.
She's not necessarily matching that like kind of baseline trusted Democrat level consistently, which could be her undoing if she doesn't stop talking about fucking bullshit all the time and actually talks about like shit that people care about.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, she's a charisma suck. She always has been. I've never been like she's got like auntie vibes or whatever type voter. But I always assumed that she could at least make up for it by like, presenting good policies that address people's like genuine concerns. And I think they are like arrived at that in a weird moment. It's like one of those weird moments where they did the price gouging shit. Like, sure, New York Times and mainstream media immediately did the classic, like, 1, how are you going to pay for it? 2, this is like, Venezuela or whatever. But overall, it has consistently remained popular. And as a matter of fact, even despite the fact that Donald Trump keeps calling Kamala, Comrade Harris, the debate's starting, it's actually increased in popularity.
Kamala Harris and former President
But let's
Donald
get
Trump,
started.
their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election, their first face-to-face meeting ever.
A historic
I'm
race
getting
for president
fucking
upended
turned.
just weeks ago. President Biden withdrawing after his last debate. Donald Trump now up against a new opponent.
The candidates separated by the smallest of margins, essentially tied in the polls nationally and in the key battlegrounds, including right here in Pennsylvania, all still very much in play. The ABC News presidential debate starts right now.
This is an ABC News special, the most consequential moment of this campaign. Kamala Harris.
They hyped this shit up so hard.
Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Face to face, historic. The ABC News presidential debate. Here now, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Good evening, I'm David Muir, and thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate. We want to welcome viewers watching on ABC and around the world tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump are just moments away from taking the stage in this unprecedented race for president.
And I'm Lindsay Davis. Tonight's meeting could be the most consequential event of their campaigns, with Election Day now less than 2 months away. For Vice President Kamala Harris, this is her first debate since President Biden withdrew from the race on July 21st. Of course, that decision followed his debate against President Donald Trump in June. Since then,
you're making a joke about the fucking Nick joke with the TikTok.
90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks.
You have to kiss me. Rules are rules.
The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions, and this is the clock. That's what they'll be seeing. 2 minutes for rebuttals.
I'm sorry. I just think everyone's a fucking hater, dude. Like, couldn't come for their throats, bro.
It's their turn to speak. No pre-written
I'm in a good
allowed.
mood, dude. I mean, it's
There is no
just.
audience here tonight in this hall.
There's no audience. She doesn't want an audience. Oh my god. There's no fucking audience. This isn't real, dude. It's fucking pre-recorded. Fuck this shit. Fuck this. No audience. It's not fucking real. It's just two fucking robots. Here we go. Tiny fucking shit.
She's going in for a handshake.
Let's have a good debate.
Look at that fucking limp handshake she
Welcome
does.
to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
Look at that
let's get
fucking shit, dude. She
I want
just.
to begin tonight with the issue that voters.
I thought she
repeatedly
looked like
say
she
is
was
their
fucking
number one issue, and
foreskin.
that is
She doesn't
the
look like
economy and the
foreskin
cost of
today.
living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing. And the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on
She's
extending
fucking dry mouth
a
as
tax cut
shit.
for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. I was
That's
my
why
mother
she's.
raised my sister
They've
and me.
fucked up the
There was
world
one
so
who
much
helped raise
that
us.
the
We
people
called her
having
our
kids are
second
so
mother. She was a
fucking
small
broke they
business
can't
owner.
afford
I
that
love our
shit. They're
small
just like,
businesses.
it's fine,
My
sex.
plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
Okay, but how much are the billionaires gonna be paying?
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because it was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before.
She's admiring. She's like, wow. I've never seen such a
21%,
fantastic
alpha
alpha
male.
male.
50, 60, 70,
In person,
80%
this is what it's
higher
like to
than they
be
were
in his
just a few years
presence.
ago.
Look at him. She's like, I can't believe all that bullshit that I've been fed about this guy that I fell for. I can't believe myself for falling for this. He's such a. He's such. Look at this prancing lion. This gazelle.
Jobs that are
He's
occupied
gorgeous.
right now
He's
by
beautiful.
African-Americans
Look at
and
him in his
Hispanics,
natural
and
environment.
also
Wow.
Unions
I
are gonna
cannot
be affected
believe
very soon.
that he's
and you
here.
See what's happening. You see
I'm
what's
gonna
happening
write a
with
love
towns
note to
throughout
him
the
right
United
now.
States. You look at
Just
Springfield,
looking at him.
Ohio.
Oh, he's looking
You
at his.
look at
He's looking at his dick.
In Colorado.
It's like I wonder how
They
big
are
that
taking
mushroom
over
really
the towns.
is.
They're taking over buildings.
I might put
They're
that
going
in my mouth.
violently. These are the people.
Can I
that
get an internship,
Biden
Donald?
led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest
There were 7
economies in
people?
the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all on
What's
this debate
going on
tonight,
right now?
You're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What
We're
you're gonna
at the
hear
debate
tonight
right now.
is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly
Elected again,
that the American
again.
people
Again?
want a president who understands the
Again.
importance of bringing us together.
We're
We
to
have so
be
much more in
elected
common
again.
than what separates us, and I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number
Did she,
one, I have
did
nothing
she
to
just
do,
shout
as
me
you
out?
know,
I
and she
didn't.
knows
I
better than
toned
anyone.
her
I have
out a
nothing
little
to do
bit.
with
She's just
Project 2025.
we
That's
we
out
all know
there.
she's
I
just
haven't
fucking
read it.
like
I don't
she's
wanna
just
read
fucking.
it
We need the
purposely. I'm
mop.
not going to read it.
We
This
need
was
the
a group of
mop.
people
Like I
that
mean,
got
let's look
together.
at this
They came up
guy.
with some ideas. I guess
Alpha.
some good, some bad.
Get
but
her a
it makes
mop,
no
man.
difference.
Like I
have
mean,
nothing to
you
do.
know she's
Everybody
like
knows
she's
I'm an
she's
open
gonna
book.
drown,
Everybody
bro.
knows what I'm gonna
Get the
do.
mop.
Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest
Get the
economy.
fucking
We
mop,
got hit
man.
with a pandemic. And the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounced back, and it bounced back, and it went to their benefit.
Yeah, the
but
bounce
I was
back.
the one
Big
that created
Sean,
them.
shots
They
at
know
him.
it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President
No,
Harris. I'll let you
that's so bad, dude.
So
You got a lot
Donald
of
Trump
jobs.
has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy.
I'm
and
going to
the
give
best
you money.
economists in our country,
If you
if not the
shit
world,
out a
have
bunch of
reviewed our
criminals
relative plans
for the
for
prison
future of
industrial
America.
complex,
What Goldman
I will
Sachs
give you
has said
$6,000 if you give me a child to throw in
What
prison.
the school has said is Donald Trump's plan
You're a Democrat.
would
What the fuck's
actually
wrong with you?
explode the deficit. 16 Nobel
I'm a
laureates
Democrat.
have described his economic plan as
I'm
something
that dog.
would increase
Can I touch your
inflation and
doggy?
by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan
You didn't
for
invite
you
me.
because he is more
She
interested
wouldn't
in
invite me to
defending
shit.
himself than he
She's
is
a
in
liar.
looking out for
No
you.
colored person has ever invited me to anything in my life. She would never invite me. She'd never invite me.
Think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to
He's
go
already
and work,
cutting in.
create jobs, and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like
you don't have a plan. No, you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. You don't have a plan.
We'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan.
You don't have a plan. Well, you don't have a plan either.
You both brought up. The vice president brought up your tariffs. You responded, and let's drill down on this because your plan is what she calls is essentially a national sales tax. Your proposal calls for tariffs, as you pointed out here, on foreign imports across the board. You recently said that you might double your plan, imposing tariffs up to 20% on goods coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that with tariffs at that level, costs are then passed on to the consumer. Vice President Harris has argued it'll mean higher prices on gas, food, clothing, medication, arguing it costs the typical family nearly $4,000 a year. Do you believe Americans can afford higher prices because of tariffs?
They're not going to have higher prices. What's going to have and who's going to have higher prices is China and all of the countries that have been ripping us off for years.
She knows what. Do I have a viewer?
China was paying us hundreds
Hillary
of
isn't watching
billions
me.
of dollars, and
Baby
so
girl,
and you know, if she doesn't
why
like them,
aren't
they should
you
have gone out and they should have
watching
immediately cut the
me?
tariffs. But those tariffs are there.
Hillary,
Under their
why
administration.
aren't you watching
me?
me?
Billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the
it's
highest
Chelsea
inflation
Clinton
perhaps
talking
in the
shit to
history
me.
of our country because
Cool,
I've
cool,
never seen a
cool.
worse period of time.
Huh?
People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or
A
anything
tarp?
else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done. They've destroyed the economy. And all you have to do is look at a poll. The polls say 80 and 85 and even 90% that the Trump economy was great, that their economy was terrible.
Vice President Harris, I do want to ask for your response, and you heard what the president said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you respond?
Well, let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America.
Oh shit, for
He
real?
invited trade wars. You want to talk about
Oh shit, a
his
trade
deal
war?
with
That's
China.
horrible.
What he ended up doing is under
Wait.
Donald Trump's presidency, he ended
Israel
up
and
selling
Palestine
American
and
chips to China
Russia and
to
Ukraine?
help them improve and modernize their military, basically sold us out. When a policy about China should be in making sure the United States of America wins the
Yeah,
competition.
NVIDIA was invented in
2016,
guys.
Focusing on relationships with
It was
our
all
allies, focusing on
the
investing in
gaming
American-based
computer came out in
technology so that we
2016
win the
with the
race
rise
on
of
AI,
Fortnite.
on
Okay,
quantum
everybody?
computing. Focusing on what
We didn't
need
have
to do
gaming
to support
computers or
America's
anything like all these chips.
so
They
that we
didn't
don't end
exist
up
until
having
Fortnite.
on the short end of
It
the
was
stick
really just a
in terms of
TI-83
workers' rights. But what Donald Trump did,
shrunk
let's
with a
talk about
shrink
this,
way,
with COVID,
shrink
is he
ray.
actually thanked
Okay.
President Xi for what he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi! Exclamation point. When we
Okay,
know
so
that
she-
Xi
so-
was responsible
so
for lacking
she's
and
gonna-
not giving us transparency.
She's
about
gonna
the
really fuck up China too.
She's like, I can be more of a China hawk than you.
Taiwan.
So she's gonna start a war. So okay, so we're gonna have a China war. We're gonna fight China. She just basically said we hate China on the biggest prime time event of global politics. She just completely, she just waved a red flag at the China Bull.
Be the end of our country.
Please
She's a
let that be
Marxist.
noted.
Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But
Oh,
when
she
you
just-
look at what she's done to
No,
our
don't do
country,
faces,
and when you
Kamala,
look
what
at
the
these
fuck?
millions
She's
and
got a.
millions
She
of
doesn't
people
like
that are pouring
diamonds.
into our
She's
country
against the
monthly,
diamond industry
where it's
too,
I
guys.
believe 21 million people, not the 15 that people say.
Is this a
And I
bear
think it's a lot
signal?
higher than the
Is this a
21.
bear
That's
signal?
bigger
I
than
think
New York
that's a
State
bull
pouring
signal.
in. And just look
She's
at what they're
against
doing to our
the
country.
Bears?
They're criminals. Many of these people
Shit,
coming
it's a
in are
bull
criminals,
signal.
and that's
Buy
bad
calls,
for
buy
our
calls, buy
economy.
calls.
You know, you
Nancy,
mentioned
call
before we'll
Nancy
talk
up.
about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed
Yeah, this is horrible.
our country with policy that's insane. Almost
I don't know
policy
why I
that would
didn't just
say
vote for
they have to
Hillary.
hate our country.
Like, if she just would have said, I followed my IT guy's advice. All you had to do was say, I followed my IT guy's advice. I don't trust the government.
Then last
They
month, you
hate
said
me.
that your administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, you surprised many with regard to your 6-week abortion
Okay,
ban,
so
because you
here's
initially had said
what
that it was
Kamala,
too
if Kamala
short.
gets
Very good for
elected,
Kamala, very bad
the
for
only
Kamala.
people allowed to ask questions about abortion are women. Okay, we can't have the men asking about abortion. It's a
Vice
girl's
President
issue.
Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion.
And guess what?
because
No
you changed
American
your position so
can
many
have any
times.
say on
Therefore,
illegal
why should they
immigration
trust
because
you?
you
reason
aren't
we
an
do that
illegal
vote is
immigrant,
because
okay?
the plan
So if
is
you
that
have
you know
never
the vote is
jumped the border
they
into
have
another country,
abortion in
I
the
don't want
ninth
you
month.
talking
They
about
even have it.
illegal
You can look at the
immigration,
governor
okay?
of West Virginia, the previous
Just
governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, is doing an excellent job. But the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates.
Ooh,
because
this
they're
is not
radical.
gonna
The
play
Democrats
well,
are
dog.
radical in that. And her vice presidential
Terrible.
pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country.
Terrible
Because he is
instincts.
really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's an execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that. Now, I believe in the exceptions.
I don't care about
for
abortion.
Rape, incest, and
Honestly, state
I believe
issue.
strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of
Give them 10,
Republicans do.
get 10 years,
Exceptions.
vote
Very
for it,
important.
10 years,
But we were able to
one,
get it,
give them
and
10
now
years to get
states
out,
are voting
boom,
on
done.
it. And for the
You don't
first
want to get
time,
out.
you're
You
gonna
want to
see
get
that
out.
this is
Don't
an
want to
issue
go in.
that's torn our
Pick
country
a
apart
side.
for
I mean, yeah,
52
but tears
years.
the country apart,
Every
state
legal
issue. I don't
scholar,
fucking know, dude.
every Democrat,
I don't
every
fucking, I don't know what the
liberal,
big deal is
conservative,
about
they
this
all
baby
wanted
issue.
this issue to be brought back to the
You're
states
gonna,
where
the
people
mother's
could vote.
going to die,
And
and
that's
it's
what
not going to have a good
Now,
family, the
Ohio
nuclear family, but the
was somewhat
baby's gonna
liberal.
die, or like the
Kansas,
baby's
vote
gonna
was
be
somewhat
born
liberal,
without
much more
legs and
liberal than people
arms,
would have thought.
and so
But
we need to
each
have the
individual
baby,
state
or the
is
baby's gonna
voting.
literally
It's the
be
vote of the
born
people.
and
It's
be
not
a
the
vegetable, but
government.
we need to
Great
keep her
service
alive,
and
so,
great courage to do it.
or
And the
like,
Supreme
I
Court
mean,
had
like,
great courage in
we
doing
literally
that.
are,
I give
you're gonna
tremendous
birth a
credit to those
brain
6
or
justices.
something,
There is
and
no
then, and
state
it's
in
like,
this country where
okay,
it's
like,
legal to kill a
the
baby
thing is, it's
after
like,
it's born.
what if you're gonna, what if someone, what if a doctor literally
Well, as I said,
gave
you hear
birth,
bunch of
is like,
lies,
you
and
have
that's
Satan
not
in your
actually
womb.
A surprising fact.
What's gonna
Let's
happen
understand how
then?
we got here.
Like, what happened if you
Donald
had
Trump
Satan in your womb?
Hand-selected
Like,
three
there's
members of the
horns and
United States
everything,
Supreme Court with the
and he's
intention
like lighting
that they would
fires
undo
up
the
in
protections
your
of Roe v. Wade.
ovaries. Like, I mean,
And
what are
they
you
did
gonna do? Are you gonna
exactly
abort
as they
Satan, or are you gonna
intended.
let Satan
And now,
live?
in over 20
That's what you really need to ask
there
these
are
people.
Trump
Kamala
abortion
took the layup.
bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime, a violation to
I
their
mean, a
body
doctor's not
does
allowed to
have
give
the
me
right to
fucking
make a decision
opiates if
about
I don't
what
have any
happens to
pain.
their
So
body
yeah,
next. That is
sometimes
immoral.
doctors can't do things
And
even though the
one does not
person
have to
wants it.
abandon their
There's
faith
kind of these rules and
deeply
laws
held
about
beliefs
what doctors
to
can
agree
do, because
that
I go to
government
a
and
doctor
Donald
personally
Trump
that is
certainly
like,
should not be
do you
telling
want
women what to do
electroshock
with
therapy?
her body. I have talked with women around our country.
I mean,
who
I've
wanna
had some
talk about
meds
this
that
is
are
what
bad
people
too,
wanted.
that isn't on
Pregnant
point.
women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to
I mean, this
jail,
is-
and
she's
she's
gonna pounce
bleeding
here.
out
This
in
is
a
her-
car
this is
in
her
the
issue.
parking lot.
Yeah,
She didn't
like-
want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term.
I mean, it's
They
fucked
don't
up.
want that.
I mean, I don't know what to tell
And
you.
I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly
Tears,
sign it
tears,
into
tears.
law.
Come on, tears,
But
tears. Do the
understand,
tears.
if
Tears.
Donald Trump
Come on,
were to
one
be
tear. You just need
reelected,
one
he will sign
tear.
the national abortion
One
ban.
tear. Come on,
Understand,
just
in
one
his
tear.
Project
Come on, get the
2025,
tear out.
there would be a
She needs needs a fucking tear. Get the fucking tear, Kamala. Come on, get the fucking tear out of your fucking eye.
I think the American people
Fucking God.
believe
God damn it, she's
certain
throwing the
freedoms,
fucking game.
in particular, the freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice President Harris.
Well, there she goes again. It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban.
I don't know. I mean, she's kind of going off, but she took my vibe, dude.
Republicans and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the states are voting. And it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart, and they wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible.
Outperforming my expectations.
The states are now voting. What she says
Not over
is
yet.
an
We're 20
absolute
minutes
lie.
into it.
And as far as the abortion
Or is this only a 30-minute debate?
I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
Would you veto a national
I'm
abortion
not in favor
ban?
of abortion. Well, I won't have to because again, two things. Number one, she said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote, especially now with the 50-50 and essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the House. She's not going to get the vote. She can't get the vote. She won't even come close to it. So it's just
Blue
wave,
nigga.
when they said they're going to get student loans.
This will have down ballot consequences.
It ended up being a total catastrophe.
Trump is literally pointing to gridlock and deliberate obstructionism.
I don't know. This is more eventful than the Biden.
Her boss went out.
The Biden one.
We'll do it again. We'll do it a different way. He went out, got rejected again by the Supreme Court.
Down the ballot.
Taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea, and how unfair that would have been. Part of the reason they lost to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their.
That's great and everything, but who's going to address the men's right issue of trying to find a wife in this country? Because if I go up to any girl, I'm going to get shot.
Has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Does anybody care about that? Like, I mean, I'm never going to have a child because if I try to talk to anybody, they're going to shoot me.
He has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't. Look, we don't have to discuss it because she'd never be able to get it, just like she couldn't get student loans. They couldn't get student loans. They didn't even come close to getting student loans. They taunted young people and a lot of other people that had loans. They can never get this approved. So it
yeah, they kind of fucked me over.
To Congress. So wonderful. Let's go to Congress. Do it. But the fact is that for years they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal.
Is there a vice presidential debate after this?
And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
Vice President Harris, I'll give you your time to respond, but I do want to ask, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade, and as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion.
So now she just lumped all women in against her and said, hey, they all love me. Like, I mean, and so basically she ignores any criticism is what she's saying.
What is happening in our country?
She has a God complex.
Working women.
You want to read into it like we're doing for everything else.
Jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is.
Well, maybe they should date someone that isn't a drug dealer, you know, or a fucking robber or something.
The healthcare she needs.
Well, she could get some healthcare.
And what you are putting her through is unconscionable.
Well, maybe maybe the woman should choose a better man, but you've told all the men that act like normal people that don't just sell drugs that we are unwanted.
This issue has been on the ballot in red and blue states both. The people of America have voted for freedom.
Bro's getting scolded.
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie.
Oh yeah,
it's another lie.
Talking about abortion.
I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. The IVF, I have been a leader. In fact,
yeah, I was the first person to propose that every baby should have a surrogate.
I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature 2 days later voted.
There should be professional baby carriers.
They know that, and everybody else knows.
A woman cannot work and hold that pregnancy at the same time. It's not.
This is like if Kamala said, "I'm a leader on the border." Okay.
Abortion.
Remember that for when immigration comes up. No one believes you.
Okay, would you do that?
No one believes me for what?
That's the problem. Because under Roe v. Wade, you could do abortions.
No one believes me. Oh, you're right. I'm a loser.
And probably after after birth. Just look at the
Just
governor,
say there's
former
no
governor
fucking-
of Virginia.
there's no
I gave my idea to Kanye West, woman. That's what my dad calls my mom when she's angry. So I'm trying to be my dad. I think she's my mom.
Across the board in this
Like
country.
my black mom.
Harris,
Like if
you
I
were
was
tasked
born a
by
black man,
President Biden
Kamala
with
Harris.
getting to the root
Kamala
causes
Harris
of
would be my mother.
migration from Central America. We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high.
She's
in the
got
Biden
silky
administration.
hair.
This past June,
Where the
President
barbs
Biden
at?
imposed tough new asylum restrictions. We know the numbers since then have dropped
It's Joe.
significantly. But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden?
I'm not paying
So
attention.
I'm the only person on this stage.
I zoned
who has
out. Sorry, can you repeat it,
prosecuted
please?
transnational criminal organizations
Imagine if
for
a
the
president
trafficking
did
of
that.
guns, drugs,
Sorry, I
and
zoned
human
out. Can you
beings.
repeat that, please?
And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And
Hey,
that bill
look,
would have
Kamala,
put 1,500
I'm gonna let you
border
finish.
agents on the
But if
border
you
to
have never
help
jumped the
those
border
folks who are
before,
working there right
I
now
think you should shut the fuck
overtime
up.
trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country. That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations
Nobody
for
does
trafficking in guns,
fentanyl.
drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress, and said, kill the bill. And you know why? Because he
The
preferred to
fentanyl
run
isn't
on a
coming from
problem
Mexico.
instead of fixing a problem. And understand,
The fentanyl doesn't come from Mexico. Why do people think that's coming from Mexico?
actually need a leader
The fentanyl is
who
being shipped in
engages
from China.
solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who
Do
would
not
prefer to
come.
run on a problem
Do not
instead
come.
of fixing a
Do
problem.
not come.
And I'll tell
Do
you
not
something.
come.
He's
Do
gonna
not come.
talk
Do
about
not come.
international
Do not come. Do not
rights
come. Do not
like
come.
it's
Do
a
not
subject that is being
come.
raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual. I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, it is. I've been
You
there. I
will
got
see during the
head.
course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter.
You mean
We'll talk
Hannibal,
about
the guy that
windmills cause
led the
cancer.
people?
And what
Windmills
you will
do
also
cause
notice is
cancer.
that people start
They
leaving
blow.
his
If the
rallies
windmill
early
is
out
in
of
front
exhaustion and
of a
boredom.
coal plant
And I will tell
and
you
it's
the one thing
burning
you will not
over
hear
a
him talk
mountain
about
with
is
air
you.
pressure that is
You will not
higher
hear
than
him
you,
talk
than
about your
that's
needs,
lower
your
on the
dreams,
bottom
and
and
your
it's higher and it goes
desires.
into your vents
And
and
I'll
then
tell
you
you, I
will get
believe
lung
you
cancer
deserve
from the coal
a
plant that's
president
being
who
having
actually
its
puts you
exhaust
first,
fumes
and I pledge to you that I will.
pushed into
President
your
Harris, thank you.
valley
President Trump, on that point, I wanna get your
because
response.
so dude.
I don't want to come across like I'm glazing, but that was bars.
I don't care.
Thousands of additional agents and officers on the board.
First, let me respond to
She called him a narcissist and also separated him from her fan base.
There's no reason
I'm
to
not
go.
a narcissist.
And
I
the
just
people
don't
that
give
do
a
go,
fuck
she's
a lot.
blessing
The
them
only
and
time I
paying
do
them to
is
be
when your
there.
niggas screaming.
And then showing them in a different light.
Young
So
penis.
She can't talk about that. People don't leave
My new
rallies.
rap
They're
name is
the
Young
biggest
Penis.
Rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because
I have to
people
pee,
want to
dude.
take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation, and it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here? You're going to end up in World War III. Just to go into another subject. What
Yeah,
they
she
have
just
done to our
basically
country
started
by
World War
allowing
III. By the way,
millions
if you
and
missed that with the
millions of
China
people to
rant,
come into
she
our
she
country
basically
and
said,
look at
"I
what's
fucking
happening to
hate
the
China."
towns all over the United States.
You
A lot
got
of
bitch
towns
that
are
watch
not
me.
gonna
She
be a
wants
war
to
in
she wants to
Springfield.
kick shit
A lot
off with
towns don't
China
wanna
for
talk
real.
about it because
While
they're so
she's kicking
embarrassed
shit
by it.
off with
In
Ukraine and
Springfield,
Russia,
they're
while
eating
she's
the
kicking
dogs,
shit
the
off with the
people that
Jews
came
and the
in,
Muslims.
eating the
So
cats.
basically, she's got the Jews and the Muslims are at war. The Russians, we got all of Eastern European.
It's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far
What did he
as
say?
the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again.
Dude, it's over. We're in World War III started. I have accomplished my fucking goal. I won. I won, dude. No matter what, China is gonna go bomb some
I
shit.
just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News.
Oh,
did
here,
reach
yeah,
out to
dude,
the
I'm on
city
the
manager
map,
there.
nigga.
He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well,
All
I've
this.
seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
The people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
The people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, speaking of the city manager says there's no evidence
No,
of that.
he wants smoke. Trump just Superman ripped his suit off. Was like, you want smoke, nigga? You want smoke? Get the fuck out my face, nigga.
I think one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney.
Dick Cheney's like, yeah, he knows I'm gonna start some shit. Yeah, that's my nigga. Babe, I love you. You want everything? Yeah, Dick Cheney, what up?
His former chief of staff, a 4-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit. His former Secretary of Defense.
Yo, I'm fit. By the way, I'm almost not overweight anymore.
Trump term.
Almost not overweight anymore. And yeah, she was nervous before, but like, I mean, she got in her.
Issues that affect the American people are not being addressed. I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond.
Yeah. Thank you. Because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or...
What the fuck? Give it back.
We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are...
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond.
Yeah. Thank you. Because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job. I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people who's were just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper, he was no good, I fired him, so he writes a book. Another one writes a book, because with me they can write books, with nobody else can they. But they have done such a poor job, and they never fire anybody. Look at the economy, look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists, they have the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any president, sitting president, in history by far.
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier, so let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President Trump, you call this the largest look like will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah. It is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals.
I just took a piss, bro, and he said my name, kind of.
Common street criminals. They allowed people.
Go away, Baton.
That was verbatim a question I demanded the media ask. Verbatim.
And told.
Go away, Baton.
Their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you.
He's not
answering the crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down.
What was the question?
You know why?
They're listening.
They've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our
Go away,
country.
Baton.
And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in
160,000
history for them
views.
to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by
I
what
don't
they've
know,
done.
dude, but
There's
right-wing
never
Twitter's
been
like
anything done
fucking.
like this at all. They've destroyed.
They
the
got fake
fabric
news out the
of our
wazoo.
country.
Let me tell you, man. I don't even
Millions of
fucking
people
know at this
let
point.
in, and all over the world, crime is down. All over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof.
Crime is down.
Despite
They're
their
gonna fact check
fraudulent
that,
statements
for sure.
that they make.
Yeah, crime is
in this
down
country
because
is
no one has
through the
enough
roof.
money and
we have
people
a
are
new
dead.
Form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody
This
thought
is
possible.
bullshit.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down.
How are you gonna catch a robber without fingerprints in the data system, bro?
They didn't include the worst cities.
They don't have the
didn't
fingerprints
include
in the
cities with
system.
the worst
They don't
crime.
exist.
It was
It's
a
just some
fraud.
random fucker.
Just like their number
You're like,
of
okay, it's a fucking,
818,000
you might as
jobs
well
that they
just
said they
fucking
created
go
turned out to be a
interrogate a
fraud.
dog.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President.
They don't have their
Well, I think
prints.
this is so rich.
Are they at least
Coming
getting their
from
prints
someone
when they
who has
come
been
in the country? That's
prosecuted
one thing they're not doing.
for
They jump the border
national
and they don't have the
security
prints.
crimes,
He's like, okay, yeah, whatever. You can go fucking rob anything you want. Rob a bank.
Found liable for
hit him on
sexual
immigration.
assault,
Stop
and
hitting
his
him.
next big court
Hit him on
appearance is in
policy.
November. at his
Stop.
own
You did
criminal
enough direct
sentencing.
attacks. Hit him on policies.
And
Hit
let's
them on
be
the crime
clear.
shit.
Where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law
Here she
and
goes.
respect for law enforcement. The former vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important
They don't
in
do
this race.
shit,
It is
dude.
important that we move forward.
See, she's
that
a
we
fed.
turn the page on this same old
And become
tired rhetoric
unburdened
and
by
address the needs of the American people.
and
Address
become
what we need to
unburdened
do
by what
about the
has
housing
been.
shortage, which I
Good
have a
shit
plan for.
shells.
Address what we must do
My
to
3
support our small
seashells,
businesses.
not my
Address
Shelly.
bringing down the
I
price
go
of groceries. But
Shelly.
frankly, the American people
Rubbing
are
my belly, I'm a
exhausted
Buddha man.
with this
Rubbing
same
my
old tired
belly, I'm a
playbook.
Buddha man.
Vice President
Rubbing
Harris,
my belly, I'm a Buddha
Excuse me.
man. Rubbing my
Every
belly,
one
I'm
of
a
those
Buddha
cases
man.
was
Rubbing my belly,
started
I'm a
by
Buddha
them
man.
against their political opponent.
I
And
got
I'm
the
winning most
belly.
of them, and I will win the rest on appeal. And you saw that with the decision that came down just recently from the Supreme Court. I'm winning most of them. But those
Yo,
are
mama.
cases, it's called
I don't know why I
weaponization.
said that.
Never happened in this country. They weaponized the Justice
I'm
Department.
pretty sure this is
Every
me
one of
just
those
taking a
cases
shit
was
with
involved
diarrhea.
the DOJ from Atlanta and Farley
This is
Willis
me talking to myself when I have diarrhea.
Attorney General of New York.
Oh my
and
God,
the
this
DA
is
of
so
New York.
good. Loser
Every
shit.
one of those cases, and then they say, "Oh, he was."
There
he's
are
a
no
criminal."
traps.
They're
She's
the
not
ones
playing
that
fucking tier
made
4
them
chess. She's
go
just
after
fucking
me. By
answering
the
the
way, Joe
questions.
Biden
They're
was found
traps. This is what
essentially
debate's
guilty
about.
in the document
You're
case.
supposed to
But
go
what happened
jump
in
in
my
the trap and
documents
battle the
case?
fucking
They said, "Oh, that's
snakes.
the toughest of them all." A complete
Do
and
you
total
actually-
victory. 2 months ago, it was thrown out. It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country.
Yeah, she's gonna
They
do the
used
same
it
shit to
try and
anybody
win
that
an
goes
election
against
for
her
their
agenda.
fake cases.
President Trump, thank you. A really quick response here, Vice President Harris, on this notion of weaponization of the Justice Department.
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is
Paying
taking place.
attention. I'm paying
The United
attention.
States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again. Understand,
All right,
this
so
is someone who has openly said he would
today there was
terminate, I'm quoting,
there was an
terminate
arrest in
the
September
Constitution of the
6th. A
United
man
States,
created
that he would weaponize
AI
the Department
artists
of
and
Justice
is
against
charged
his
with
political
3
enemies.
counts of basically
Someone who
fraud
has
and
openly
conspiracy to commit fraud for
disdain
botting
for members
videos
of our
on
military.
a live
Understand
stream
what it would mean if
of
Donald
the
Trump were back
streams
in the
and
White
stuff.
House
So
with
basically,
no
they arrested this
guardrails,
guy, even
because
though it's been
certainly we
talk
know
of the
now the
town
court
for the
won't stop it.
past
We know
maybe
J.D. Vance is
8
not gonna
years
stop them.
about
It's
this
up to the
shit. So
American
basically,
Vice President
that's
Harris.
Hollywood and
Vice
that
President
elite
Harris,
circle
in your
that's
last
doing
words
this
for
while she's
President-
in office. So basically,
This is the one that
anything
weaponized,
that
not
their
me.
little
She
group
weaponized.
does,
I
they
probably
don't
took
care,
a
but
bullet to
you
the
do
head
it.
because
She's
of
gonna go
the
after
things
you.
that they say about
Let
me.
that be
They talk
clear.
about democracy. I'm a
She
threat
straight
to
up is
democracy.
telling you,
They're
you
the
fuck
threat
with
to
my
democracy.
people in
When they say
LA,
Russia,
I'm gonna
Russia
go and fucking throw every.
investigation,
Don't
that
you
went
can't do
nowhere.
what my people in LA does.
Vice
She's
President Harris, in
a
your last run for
California
president, you said you wanted to
socialist.
ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government
She wants to
buyback
throw
programs
people
for
in
solar
jail
farms. Now
for
your
doing
campaign
shit on their
says you
computer.
don't. You supported
So if you're
decriminalizing
botting
border
on
crossings.
RuneScape or
Now
any
you're taking
MMO,
harder
you're
line.
probably
I
going
know
to
you
jail.
say that your
If
values
you're
have not
playing video
changed.
games
So
and
then
cheats,
why have
you're
some
probably
of
going to
your
jail
policy
too.
positions
If you
changed?
type in,
So,
if you're getting
my
money
values have
on
not changed, and I'm gonna
GTA and actually
discuss
stealing
every
it and
one of
doing
the
that, you're
piece of
probably
feedback
going to
that
jail
you've
for
made,
getting
but in
money
particular,
like
let's
that.
talk about fracking
They're
because
gonna
we
lock
have
you up
to
for all that
I made
little
that very
tiny
clear in
shit.
2020.
You use an
I will not
unlock
ban
tool to
fracking.
get the cool
I have not
camos,
banned
you're going to
fracking as
jail.
Vice President
And
of the
guess
United
what?
States, and in fact,
When she goes in
I
there,
was
if
the
you're
time
pirating
working
music
vote
or
on the
movies and
Inflation
shit
Reduction
still and
Act,
doing illegal
which
streaming,
opened
AOC already
new
said that you're
reasons
going to
for
fucking jail and you're going
My
bankrupt.
position
Okay,
is
buddy?
that we have got
That shit's
to
coming in with
invest
this lady.
in
Don't Don't believe her. She's got all. Basically, Trump is attacking these issues. She's defending herself from these issues, and she's using that to say, well, these are this. And Trump's from the bottom. He's fighting uphill. She's on top of the hill, and he's trying to shoot the arrows uphill, but he can't get enough draft because then it goes backwards and hits one of his soldiers, and that's what kind of happened with his entire basically his entire stuff, and you saw that where they locked everybody up for trying to do things, because he fires an arrow, they go back and it rains down on him and stuff like that. So she's got a whole fucking agenda that she doesn't have to address, and she's basically saying no, she's dismissing him.
The value that I bring to my work, to say we are going to work with the private sector and home builders to increase 3 million homes, increase by 3 million homes by the end of my first term.
She doesn't know anything about construction. She doesn't know anything about the construction industry. She knows nothing about building a road. She doesn't know anything about your car or anything. She knows nothing. She knows nothing about the middle class lifestyle. She needs an oil change. That's $10,000 to her, okay? And she gets that from the government mechanic that does it, and she thinks $10,000 is enough for an oil change.
My values have not changed. And what is important is that there is a president who actually brings values and a perspective that is about lifting people up and not beating people down and name calling. The true measure of the leader.
Your entire party just called them weird. You just had an entire PR campaign of calling the right weird. You called everybody weird.
Given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn, Queens, and a great father, and I learned a lot from him. But I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built it into many, many billions of dollars. Many, many billions. And when people see it, they are even surprised. So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years.
And I mean, if they want to like talk about his past, she was given $4 million. She was given a chance to suck a dick, and she took it. So like, if she wants to call out how he made his money and got there today, then let's talk about her illicit relationships and stuff like that. Where's the call out? See, he didn't even do a misogynistic take like that and do that. So keep calling him misogynistic, because he didn't just go and attack her and say she sucks dick for a living.
Please.
He did not talking.
She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis.
What just happened?
She went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think
You just
of.
call me Elon?
Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this. She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one. Just to finish one thing, so important in my opinion. So I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were. I would have been 5 times, 4 times, 5 times higher, because you're talking about 3.5 years ago. They got it up to where I was because they had no choice, because the prices of energy were quadrupling and doubling. You saw what happened to gasoline. So they said,
Quadruple double, dude?
But if she won the election,
that's an
day
8er.
after that election, they'll go
yeah,
back to
that's what I call my
country,
fucking
and
8
oil
balls
will
of
be
coke,
dead,
the
fossil
quadruple
fuel will
double,
be dead.
nigga.
We'll go back to windmills, and we'll go back
Yeah, give me
to
that quadruple
solar,
double.
where they need a whole desert to get some energy to come out. You ever see a solar plant? By the way, I'm a big fan of solar, but they take 400, 500 acres of desert soil.
Trump, we have a
These
lot
are
of
not good
issues
things
that we
for the
have to get
environment,
to.
as
We're
she
out of time.
understands.
Thank you.
Lindsay, thank you. We have
He's
an
just
election
saying
in
whatever,
just 56
dude.
days. And I want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, which, of course, we all know is a cornerstone of our
Fuck that
democracy
riot,
and the
nigga.
role of a president in a moment of crisis. Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you would be right there with them. The country and the world saw what played out at the Capitol that day, the officers coming under attack. Aides in the West Wing say you watched it unfold on television off the Oval Office. You did send out tweets, but it was more than 2 hours before you sent out that video message telling your supporters to go home. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
You just said a thing that isn't covered. Peacefully and patriotically, I said during my speech, not later on. Peacefully and patriotically.
Dude, you put the COVID vaccine in them, so you could have just wired the command for them to go home. They had the chip in them.
Never shot her. It's a disgrace.
Mike
But
Pence
we
wasn't
didn't
even
do this
hanged.
group of people that have been treated so badly. I ask
What
Dude,
about all the
we
people that are
know
pouring
you
into our
could
country
have
and killing
just
people, that
sent
she allowed to
the
pour in?
fucking
She was the
console
border czar,
command
remember that.
of
She was the
end.
border czar.
You could have
She's
just
the one
typed
be called the border czar
end
because she's embarrassed by the
J6.
border. In fact, she said at the
Could have just
beginning,
typed it.
"Oh, I'm surprised you're not
Could have
talking
just
about the
typed
border yet."
kill
That's because she
dash
knows what a bad
A
job they've done.
J6.
What about those
and it would have
people?
killed it.
When are they
Okay,
gonna be
dude. Like, I mean,
prosecuted?
please, we know you put the vaccine in it. Like, okay, I saw it in a dream when I took DMT. All right, like I know.
The world, David.
Just stop
all over
it.
the world. And crime rates are down all over the world
David.
because of it.
But let me just
when
ask
are
you.
those, David? When
David.
are those people going to be
David.
prosecuted?
Listen
when
here,
are the people
little
that
boy.
burned down Minneapolis going to be prosecuted? Or in Seattle?
Yeah,
they
yeah,
went
yeah,
into
yeah,
Seattle.
yeah.
They took over a big percentage
More
of the
people,
city of Seattle.
more people were
When are those
prosecuted during the
people gonna
BLM
be
protest
prosecuted?
than
But let me just
January
ask her
6th.
that
More
question.
people have been
You were the
prosecuted during the
president.
Palestine
You were watching
protests
that
than
whole
January
time.
6th.
It's a very simple question as we move forward toward another election. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day? Yes or no?
I had nothing to do with that other than they asked me to make a speech. I showed up for a speech. I said, I think it's going to be big. I went to Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C., and the mayor put it back in writing, as you know. I said, you know, this is going to be a very big rally or whatever you want to call it. And again, it wasn't done by me. It was done by others. I said, I'd like to give you 10,000 National Guard or soldiers. They rejected me. Nancy Pelosi rejected me.
I told them
It
don't
was
do
just
it.
2 weeks ago,
Don't
her
do
daughter
it.
has a tape of her saying she is
I had
fully
no idea it was gonna
responsible for
happen.
what happened. They want to get rid of that tape. It would have never happened if Nancy Pelosi
How the fuck was
and
I
the mayor
supposed to
of
know? It was a
Washington did
joke
their
since
job.
I was like fucking
I wasn't
3.
responsible
Riot
for
on
security.
J6.
Nancy
Riot on
Pelosi
J6.
was responsible.
There's also
She
because of the
didn't do her
AA,
job.
the
question is
AA
about you as
thing.
president, not about
AA
former Speaker
reading.
Pelosi.
Yeah,
But I
dude,
do
riot
want
on
Vice President Harris
J6.
to respond.
Yeah.
I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I
She was planning
the
pipe
vice
bombs.
president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the President of the United States incited a violent mob
Yeah, I'm going to jail.
to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day,
mean
140
defecated?
law enforcement officers
We were just
injured.
role playing as
And some
Indians.
died.
We can put our shit where
And
we want,
understand,
bitch.
the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic
Oh my god,
hate.
dude, it's like fucking, it's a
And what did
4chan
the
meme.
president then at the time say?
We're taking
There were fine people on
4chan
each
seriously
side.
now.
Let's remember that when it came to the
Uh-oh,
Proud
they had
Boys, a
tiki
militia,
torches.
the president said, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say we don't have to go back. Let's not go back.
We're not going back.
It's time
Jinx,
to turn
shut the fuck up,
page.
bitch.
And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law.
So communism?
And
I'm
to
getting
end the
I'm getting paid if I
chaos.
vote you? If I vote
And
for
to
if I vote for
end
KKH?
The approach that is
If I vote for
about
KH?
attacking the
I get money?
foundations of our democracy
Place in the campaign?
because you don't like
Job?
the outcome. And be
Black job?
clear on that point.
Yeah, I don't
Donald
like you.
Trump, the candidate, has said in
Candidate.
this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this.
A
Let's
BB?
not go back.
Yeah, BB.
Let's chart a course
I'm going back. Wish
for
me
the
luck.
future.
Yeah,
and
nigga,
not
what
go
up?
backwards
Yeah,
to the
nigga, what up?
past.
If you catch me around my side of town, you know
It was
what's
a
up.
different term, and it was a
I don't
term
remember the words.
that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy
They have
business. That
destroyed
was their
our
bloodbath
energy
was.
business.
Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people, they covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect. It was debunked in almost every newspaper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of this stuff up. I ask you this, you talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the southern border? How come she's not doing anything? And I'll tell you what I would do.
Hey guys,
and I would
remember
be
when
very
I said
proud to do it.
neo-Nazis are very
I would
fine
say we
people?
would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C., and let her sign a bill to close up the border, because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed, you'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll say, come on down to the office, let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed.
Mr.
Those
President,
people are killing many people, unlike J6.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus on this next issue to both of you, because it really brings us this into focus, truth in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, many times saying you won in a landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
that.
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls, and we have to have it. We have to have borders, and we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video.
I
didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisper. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this.
Look,
you
look like a fucking bitch.
In front of many judges, many of them
No
Republican,
judge looked at it.
And said
they
there was
said
no
we didn't have
widespread
standing.
fraud.
That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The President of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you'll do a special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you
Ryan, you don't even know the words.
We have so many facts and
fucking
statistics.
retard, dude.
But
Shut the fuck up, retard.
That doesn't matter, because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you. Vice President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker. So he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that.
That's some retarded
we
shit.
We cannot afford to have a president of the United States who
attempts,
as he did in the past,
I don't know,
to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election.
Didn't get fired by 81 million people.
I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States.
I got fired. Okay, they fired someone going through a hard time.
Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in
military
a presidential
leaders,
debate and deny
they're fucking
what
losers.
Over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps
this is
what
she's going to do to us.
Right, the temperament.
This is how she's going to talk to us, guys.
To not be confused about fact.
She's calling him a narcissist while doing this.
Deserve better.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr.
It's
President.
not all the
world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men. They call him a strong man. He's a tough person.
Americans love Viktor
Smart.
Orban.
Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid
She
of him.
just started a war with China.
North Korea, by the way.
Everyone's just ignoring the fact that she started a war with China. United States is in a cold war with China right now.
He ended that. But he let the Russians build a
She
pipeline
name dropped. She name dropped a Chinese leader and insulted him on international television, you guys.
It's Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president, but when this weak, pathetic
Victor Orban.
Just a few months ago,
Victor Orban.
he'd be running instead of her.
This was me coming after my soccer game, I believe, eating my Doritos. I had some Doritos. Off Doritos, bro. Not Doritos. Doritos.
But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running.
No one believes me.
But I'm okay with it.
I'm delusional, guys.
I think we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get to.
I paid for my ACT score. I actually got a 15.
Oh, here we go. Israel dick riding.
Vice President Harris in December
said,
quote, Israel
peg me, bitch. Peg me, peg me, peg me.
Saying
Peg
international
me,
humanitarian
baby.
law must be respected.
Peg
Israel must do
me,
more to protect
baby.
innocent civilians.
I need a good
You said that
pegging,
9 months ago. Now an estimated
baby.
40,000 Palestinians
Dark
are dead.
chocolate
Nearly 100
pegging with a
hostages
big black
remain.
dildo.
Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a deal in the
Yahoo?
making.
She just
President
said
Biden has
Yahoo.
not been able to break through the stalemate. How would you do it?
We just started a war with China.
Well, let's understand how we got here.
We just started
On
a war with
October
China.
7, Hamas,
Both candidates hate
a
China.
terrorist organization, slaughtered
She's losing
1,200
Michigan.
Israelis.
She's losing
Many
Michigan.
of them young
It's done.
people who were simply attending a concert.
All right, now.
And so, absolutely,
Now,
I said then, I say now.
the riots
Israel
have now
has a right
just.
to defend itself. We
It's
would.
like that scene in Head of State
how it
where
does
the
so
white
matters.
people start storming the
Because it is
streets
also
because
true.
they said a
Far too
black
many
man's gonna be president.
Innocent Palestinians have been
They
killed.
just
Children.
they're on the streets right now.
What
They
we know
just
is that
exited the
this
door.
war must end. It must
They
end
just-
immediately,
There's a
and the
Trump
way
line.
it will end is we need
The
a
Rebecca's-
ceasefire deal, and we need
you-
the hostages out.
You're not starting.
And so we will continue to work around the clock on that. Work around the clock, also understanding that we must
We need-
chart a course for a two-state solution. And in that solution, there must be security for the Israeli people and Israel, and in equal measure for the Palestinians. But the one thing I will assure you always, I will always give Israel the ability to defend itself, in particular as it relates to Iran and any threat that Iran and its proxies pose to Israel. But we must have a two-state solution
Wow, that's-
where we can rebuild Gaza, where the Palestinians have security, self-determination, and the dignity they so rightfully deserve.
She's just starting wars.
Netanyahu and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent the killing of more innocent civilians.
All right,
in
so
Gaza.
clarify. We're going to World War III. Yes or no?
Russia would have never, ever. I know Putin very well. He would have never, and there was no threat of it either, by the way. For 4 years,
I know
have gone into
putting good.
Ukraine
I'm a good
and
putter.
killed Millions of
I'm a
people.
putting
when
in
you
your
add it
bitch.
up. Far worse than
Putting
people
in
understand
your
what's
bitch,
going on
putting-
over there.
That's not a
When
bar.
she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there.
Net
because she was
and
in a
Yahoo?
sorority party of hers. She wanted to go
Yahoo.net,
to the
nigga.
sorority party.
Yeah, net spend
She
money,
hates
nigga.
Israel.
Call it
If
up.
she's
Yeah,
president,
spend them
I
racks.
believe that
Rack City,
Israel will
bitch.
not
Rack
exist
City,
within
bitch.
2 years
Show them
from
titties,
now. And
bitch.
I
Show
make
them
good
titties,
predictions,
bitch.
and I hope I'm
Yeah,
wrong
yeah,
about that
yeah,
one.
nigga. What's up?
She
Yeah,
hates
nigga.
Israel. At the same time,
Rack
in her
City,
own
bitch.
way,
Yeah, yeah.
she
Rack
hates
City,
the
bitch.
Arab population.
I'm voting for Kamala
because
Harris.
the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel. Israel will be gone. It would have never happened. Iran was broke under Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took off all the sanctions that I had. Iran had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different spheres
I said
of
what?
terror, and they are spheres of terror. Horrible terror.
Tara.
They
Oh,
had no
her name
money.
is Terror.
It's a big story, and you know it.
Tara.
You covered it very well, actually.
Oh, okay.
They had no
So every
money
girl
for
named
terror.
Tara is a
They were
terrorist.
broke.
Got it.
Now they're a rich nation, and now what
All
they're
right.
doing is they're spreading that money around.
Yeah, so
Look
my
at
one
what's
Arab
happening
friend
with
used to
the
make fun of
Houthis
9/11.
and
He used to
Look at
say,
what's going on in the
9/11,
Middle
make a
East.
wish.
This would have never happened.
So,
I will get that settled and
He fucked
fast,
up the
and I'll get
peaceful
the
dove
war
line, though.
with Ukraine and Russia ended.
I think he tried
if
to
I'm
angle it.
president-elect, I'll get
He
it
tried
done
to angle it as like
before
he's the
even
peaceful candidate. He fucked it up.
president.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli
Kamala,
people.
you fucking
He knows
idiot.
that he's
Shut up.
trying to again
Read the room.
divide and
Read the
distract
fucking room,
from the
dumbass.
reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known
God, she's
that
so
he
bad.
admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un.
I'm being sarcastic. I'm just fucking with these guys because they're
These
soy boy
dictators
cucks.
and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you
They're
with
voting.
flattery and favors.
They're
And is
voting
why
for you to be president.
so many military
They're-
leaders who you have worked with
They're
have
calling
told
for
me
you to be
you
president.
are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on
Vice
national
President
security.
So
including
there, she basically just said
highest regard
they're
for military
flattering you with this, while they flatter her by saying he is a disgrace.
National security by
You
allowing
see
every
the
nation
the
last
double
month
standard or
for the
whatever
year,
that's going on.
168 different
She's
countries
like, they will
sending
flatter
people into
you,
our
but
country.
my
Their
military's
crime rates are
doing
way
that to
down.
me because they're
Putin
just gonna
endorsed
tell
her
me
last week.
lies and.
Said, I hope she wins, and I think he meant it. Because what he's
What?
gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened
I got a
before.
headache from
The
this,
leaders
dude.
of
It's
other
like
countries
watching
think
a
that they're
bickering
weak
couple.
and incompetent, and they are.
Like they need
They're
a
grossly
divorce. Like
incompetent.
Reddit. If this
And I
was
just
like a
asked that
Reddit, if
question.
Reddit
Why
like
does Biden
was
go
like
in
this
and
was
kill
like
the
a
Keystone
story
pipeline and
on like
approve
thing,
the
they'd be like
single
lawyer up,
biggest
hit the
deal
gym,
that
delete
Russia's ever
Facebook.
made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline
Like
anywhere in
they
the world,
like
going to
like
Germany and all over Europe.
like it would be
Because
civil
they were
war.
weak
They'd be like,
and
okay,
they
civil
ineffective.
war.
And Biden, by the way, gets paid a lot of
Reddit
money.
would be like, yeah, lawyer up, hit the gym, delete Facebook.
Historic ABC News presidential debate from the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia. Back.
God damn, what a fucking journey we went on. Yo, Edinger Mentum, you can unmute.
Is it over?
Okay. What an insane, what an absolutely fucking
Yeah, I'm back.
insane,
What?
insane.
Dude, I don't know. I have a headache.
She did
He has
bring up
freckles.
that he has the morals of an alley cat. She's fucking throwing. This
I
is,
know.
like,
She
ridiculous.
also, did you notice that she didn't say we beat Medicare, which was
No.
weird because that was a powerful
man.
bar when Joe Biden deployed that one. Or
Not bring up the immigrant deaths during the abortion question. Classic mistake. I don't know what
Yeah.
she was thinking.
yeah, I found that very odd. So okay, right off the jump, really fucking strong start. I will.
Yeah.
She outperformed my expectations by wide margins. Okay,
Yeah,
there
I
was
was
a lot of.
I was really blown away in the abortion thing. That was legitimately really impressive.
Yeah, no, she did a fucking fantastic. Like,
I
was
mean,
not
she
doing the
she
classic,
like she bossed
Mama,
up, but she
you
did
know,
the same
coconut,
thing where it's like
tree
she
Harris
she
shit
has
and
a
all.
ramp up
Straight to the
period.
She hasn't
point.
laughed. She's hardly laughed at all.
She laughed one time. There was a couple moments. I am unimaginably frustrated with the immigration stuff for obvious
She
reasons.
reminds me of Cruella de Vil.
I think that is like that's
All right,
really
piss time.
bad to just leave on the table in general because Trump is just like getting increasingly insane on this
Yeah.
issue. At least point it out. Like the least
You're
you
so
can
lucky
do.
He's been grape-ified.
Yeah.
Like
He's so fucking groiped up. Like the way he's talking about fucking the Haitians eating cats. Like I can't believe he just straight up said that.
Did you
I
see
cannot.
the Eric Erickson thing where he was freaking out? Like,
Yeah.
congratulations on getting the shit on national TV, you fucking morons.
Yeah, it is unimaginable. But like honestly, again, it is up to Kamala Harris at that moment. Like, you can't rely on David Muir's sexy ass every time to fucking offer you a goddamn lifeline every single moment that the debate is occurring. You know what I mean? And he did.
Yeah.
His sexy ass was out there being hot and also doing a lot more fact checking than I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, I've actually really liked them. I've been like pleasantly surprised. Bringing up the number of Palestinians who have been killed, like I didn't expect that. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was shocking. Jake Tapper would never. Okay, Jake Tapper would be like what, 10 Palestinians that maybe died and they deserved it. That's what he would say.
Yeah, they killed themselves actually.
Yeah, Dana Bash would be hitting both of them on not being sufficiently pro-Israel. So that is actually shocking, like the decent amount of moderation that's occurring here. But yeah, the Israel dick riding portion was fucking awful. It was disastrous. It was expected. And I think that it will, in my opinion, it will have electoral consequences. I don't know how you feel about that. We can talk about that after the fact.
What's JD Vance saying?
Like, it's just a larger thing that, like, with her team's fucked up mindset, 'cause she's kept all the Biden people. They just feel like for some reason they can't ever meaningfully break from Biden. I feel like the ingredients were here for her to have a bad performance. Like, a lot of her lines are canned. A lot of the, like, bait on Trump looks kind of corny and, like, a non sequitur if he doesn't respond to it.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, dude. Should I get some food?
Even the
is this on commercial break? Is this still going on? Because this is kind of actually lit. Like, I'm engaged.
She would just, like, kind of drop random ones in there, and he would be like, nope, I remember that, and I'm going to address it. Which is shocking.
I mean, I think this is the ticket right here. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump.
And I think, like, the failure point... Like,
I think they should get... I think they need to kiss and make love.
Even against Joe Biden.
They're soulmates.
If you recall... But like Joe
That's
Biden
what I'm saying.
Was
I've always said I think it should be a Democrat and a Republican as VP Vice President.
You really saw it from the jump. But it absolutely.
But I think then they murder. Yeah, it'd be assassinations.
I think was like
down
the pivotal moment
ballot.
of the debate. Because
he's been seething. He's been seething.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped chirping since then. And I think like a lot of Americans just care about optics overall. And if you were like will this motivate more people to go out and vote for Kamala Harris? I don't know, because like there isn't a lot of like policies past the opening monologue. But overall, I mean, she absolutely looks way more professional. Like she's doing, I mean, she is reminding people how fucking narcissistic Donald Trump is and showing like what a normal president would look like in a way that even Joe Biden wasn't able to do after 2020.
I'm Brian.
So,
so Chris is Brian. I kind of realized that, but like I'm like, oh cool. So he's like not a Chad anymore.
Like just like searching stuff on Twitter. If you search Celtic Shaq, everybody's saying that he looks like Celtic Shaq. They're saying he's an insult to Celtic Shaq. Oh, there it is. It's back.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can clutch us out.
I think it's over.
Debate tonight. We're going to continue here, and I want to turn to the war in Ukraine. We're now 2.5 years into this conflict. Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy, that it's in America's best interest to do so, arguing that if Putin wins, he may be
coked up right now off the coffee, dude. Kroger fucking easy cup.
You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before the break tonight. How exactly would you do that?
First, I'm going to pull my pants down, then I'm going to take a shit.
To win this
GG.
war.
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers. Look, we're in for 250 billion
I hate to do
or
this,
more.
but also the ad break is coming right now. I'm sorry.
Europe, which
All
is
right.
a much bigger beneficiary
Domestic
to getting
deportation
this thing
operation
done
in the history of
than
our
we
country.
are.
You say
Come
you
on.
use the
They're in
National
for
Guard. You say if things get out of control, you'd have no.
$250 billion or more, because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are.
Sorry, I zoned out. Can you
They're
repeat
in
the
for
question, please?
$150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO. They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion.
They're into 100 to 150. They should be forced to equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well.
Video lagging. They're intercepting my communications. Elon, they're intercepting my communications. They're intercepting my communications. The aliens and now Mars. Look at these people. They're doing the devil's on TV. The devil's on TV. What the fuck? Come on, Hasan, save me. Hasan.
I said, oh.
Save me, Hasan.
Negotiating.
I was.
Oh, no, Hasan. Hasan, why would you do this to me? What the fuck? I broke it.
With your vote, we will win.
With my vote, we will win. I like this voice.
I believe that we're going to.
At my nice job interview, I'm going to talk like this. Hello, my name is Kamala Harris, and I want to. My name is Stacey. My name is.
And now you have millions of people.
We have
there,
millions
and
of
it's
people
only
getting
worse,
high.
And it could lead to World War III.
World War
Don't kid
III.
yourself, David.
Don't
We're
kid
playing with
yourself,
World
David.
War III, and we have a
Bless
president
me.
that we don't even know if he's. Where is our president?
Where's
We
our
don't even know if
president? We
he's a
don't know where
president.
Joe Biden's at.
Threw him out of a campaign like
You're
a
right,
dog.
Donald
We
Trump.
don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a
No, you're the
president
devil. I'm lying.
that
I'm
doesn't know
lying.
he's alive.
Your time is up. Just to clarify in the question.
Mom,
Do you
bathroom.
believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war, yes or no?
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
All right.
Negotiate a deal.
Get her done. Get her done.
Human lives
Get her done.
being destroyed.
I want to take this to Vice President Harris. I want to get your thoughts on support for Ukraine.
He's
in
just
this
little
moment,
brother,
but
dude.
also
You're just the
as
vice
Commander-in-Chief,
president.
if elected.
You'll never
how will
be
you deal
the
with Vladimir
president.
Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President
First, I'm gonna pull
well,
up.
First of all, it's
I'm a
important
flex.
to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened here. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded, tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to
nigga.
defy one of the most important
I don't even
international
fucking
rules
know,
and
dude.
norms,
I'm
which is
tired.
the
I'm going to
importance
bed.
of sovereignty and territorial integrity.
I'm done talking.
And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him
Good
American
time.
intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence. Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
No, he wouldn't. That's my nigga.
Vice President Harris, thank you. We've heard from both of you
Get
on
me
Ukraine
weed,
tonight.
bitch.
Afghanistan came up in the last hour. I wanted her to respond to something you said earlier, and please, I'll give you a minute here.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please. He would have been sitting in Moscow, much happier than he is right now. But eventually, you know, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. They don't ever talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. And eventually, maybe he'll use them, and maybe he hasn't been that threatening. But he does have that, something we don't even like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about it. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a horrible negotiator. They sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader, uphold, caring about
Back to
democracy.
Hasan. Save me, Hasan.
And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is
Zed
Commander-in-Chief. And the American people have a right to rely on a president who understands the significance of America's role
Significance
and
of passage of
in
time.
terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
We've talked about Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. I do want to talk about Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of this debate. I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Said Trump did the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, I've never seen.
I'm done talking. I'm going to go lay on the couch.
He said, I've never seen. For years, we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up by saying one of the statements you made before, if you don't pay, we're not going to protect you.
President
Otherwise,
Trump.
we would have never gotten it. He said it was one of the most incredible jobs that he's ever seen done.
Thank you. I want to turn to Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of the debate, and we witnessed a poignant moment today on Capitol Hill, honoring the soldiers who died in the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. I do want to ask the Vice President, do you believe you bear any responsibility in the way that withdrawal played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
67.
But let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal. And here's how it went down. He bypassed the Afghan government. He negotiated directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban. The negotiation involved the Taliban getting 5,000 Taliban terrorists released. And get this, and the president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American
Yeah, that wasn't a bad idea.
where we invite
Sorry.
and receive.
And that's why Joe Biden followed along with it.
And this former president, as president, invited them to Camp David because he does not again
The
appreciate
fuck? What are you going to do? Now bring the Palestinians to Camp David? Freak.
of the President of the United States to
His point
be
is stupid.
Commander-in-Chief with a level of respect. And this gets back to the point of how he has consistently disparaged and
If Trump
demeaned
was smart, he'd be
members
like,
of our military,
"That's how you do deals."
fallen soldiers, and the work that we must do to uphold the strength and the respect of the United States of America around the world.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, your response to her saying that you began the negotiations with the Taliban.
So, if you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killing our soldiers, a lot of them, with snipers. and I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got involved. And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul. And for 18 months, we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo.
18 months. I mean, Abdul, his house was a prison, dog. He was in prison. You took him out of prison.
We were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers.
You literally
we wouldn't
took
have
him
left
out of prison.
many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have
What
left.
is going on?
We wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
I want to move on.
And these people did the worst withdrawal, and in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And by the way, that's why Russia attacked Ukraine, because they saw how incompetent she and her boss are.
President Trump, thank you. I want to move on now.
I don't know. I mean, they're both.
In this country. Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris,
all right. I mean, I was
didn't know
saying
she was
before.
black until a number of years ago.
I was saying before that, I'm gonna not pay attention, but this is heated. They brought him. They awoken him. He would for the other one. He was just he was just since 2020 is I'm beating this guy. I mean, he doesn't underestimate his opponent. He's just I just have to see over him, and he's looking at this guy, and he's I'm a head taller. Whatever. But now he's I gotta step the fuck up. So here we go. The October surprise is gonna be fucking huge. They're boiling the water, and he's ready to cook. He's got fucking he's 273 kelvins, He's 273 kelvins. He's got this shit in the bag, bro. I think this is her this his energy, and she had to step up to his energy, and she's I'm one when he's there, he's that, but how's she gonna be when they're rubbing elbows and it's just is she gonna get fucking flustered when she's talking to Putin and all them, or is she gonna be obstinate and be no, you're just a narcissist, this, and how is she really gonna act when she's put in that position? I'm seeing these Democrats, they're rattled by that American citizen. How is she gonna feel when she's against someone that's I can declare war on you, and shit's gonna, you know what I'm saying, man? And so let's see what they're saying.
Calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first black president of the United States. And I think the American people want better than that, want better than this, want someone who understands, as I do, I travel our country. We see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other. I meet with people all the time who tell me, can we please just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams of the American people? Knowing that regardless of people's color or the language their grandmother speaks, we all have the same dreams and aspirations and want a president who invests in those, not in hate and division.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Lindsay?
President Trump, this is now your third time.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like what she just said. Going back many, many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park Five, they admitted, they said, they pled guilty. And I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately. And if they pled guilty, then they pled, we're not guilty. But this is a person that has to stretch back years, 40, 50 years ago, because there's nothing now. I built one of the greatest economies in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger. But they're destroying our economy. They have no idea what a good economy is. Their oil policies, every single policy. And remember this, she is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had. A horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
Thank you. Time's up.
I want to respond to that, though. I want to just respond briefly. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight.
$81,000.
As opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling and name-calling. Let's turn the page
Vice President
and move
Harris,
forward.
thank you. Let's
She
turn
wants
to
to
policy.
give about 40 times
Let's turn to
more.
policy,
She has
please.
a plan to defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she
we
has
do
a
have to
plan
move on
to
to
not
other
allow
issues.
fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay.
That's what her plan is until.
Ah, yeah.
Lindsay, go ahead.
Oh,
The
shit.
president has said
No, I'm
something
sorry.
twice that I need to
No,
respond to.
I'm sorry. We're
I
gonna
just need to
move on,
respond
Vice
one
President
time
Harris.
to what he has
President
said
Trump, this is
multiple
now
times.
your third time running for president. You have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. You have failed to accomplish that.
Obama.
You now say you're going to keep
Obama.
Obamacare, quote,
Obama.
unless we can do something much better.
Obama.
Last month you said, quote,
Obama.
we're working on it.
Obama.
So
Obama.
tonight,
Obama.
9
Obama.
years after you
Obama.
first started
Obama.
running,
Obama.
do you have
Obama.
a plan?
Obama.
And can you tell us what it
Obama.
is?
Obamacare was
Obama.
lousy health care.
Obama.
Always was. It's not
Obama.
very good today.
I'm Obama.
And what I said, that if we come
Obama.
up with something, and we are working
No,
on
she
things,
cannot interrupt.
we're going to do
I'm
it, and we're
Obama.
going to replace it. But
I'm
remember
Obama.
this, I inherited Obamacare
I
because
inherited-
Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it.
Obama.
They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to change it.
Obama.
If they would have done that,
Obama.
we would have had a
Fuck
much
the Affordable
better
Care
plan
Act
than
in the ass.
Obamacare.
Make it
But
come.
the Democrats came up,
Make
they
you
wouldn't
shit
vote
child
for it.
out.
I had a choice to make when
Gonna
I was president.
impregnate the
Do I
plan.
save it and make it as good
Gonna
as it can be?
impregnate the
Never going to be
ACA.
great. Or
Give it
do
a
I
baby carry
let
it
it
to
rot?
term. You feel me, nigga?
And I felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away.
Yeah.
I decided, and
I
I
ain't
told my
gonna do that,
people, the
nigga.
top people, and they're very good people. I have a lot of good people in this
plan is,
administration. We read
one,
about the bad ones. We had some real bad ones too, and so
two,
do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is they don't get rid of them. But let
three,
me just
sign the
explain.
bill.
I had a choice to make. Do I
I'm not
save
a
it and
politician.
make it as good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing. But it's still never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it.
So what's the plan?
But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So
just a yes or
the
no,
plan.
you still do not have a
So
plan.
the plan
I
is.
have concepts of a plan.
Got
I'm not
concepts.
president right now.
Not
But
president.
if we come up with something.
If
I would
you
only
put
change
me
it
in,
we come
if
up with something
you
that's
know,
better
if
and
you
less
just sign the
expensive.
bill,
There are concepts
you'll
and
figure it
options
out.
we have
You know, just sign the
to do
bill.
that. And
We
you'll
have
be
to
hearing
sign
about
the
it in
bill
the
to
not too
figure
distant
out
future.
what's in it.
Vice President Harris,
You
in
know, we got to
2017,
sign
you
the
said
bill
Bernie
to figure
Sanders'
out what's in
proposal
it.
to
You
do
know,
away with
we
private
don't
insurance
we
and
don't
create a government-run
think
healthcare system.
we
2
do.
years later, you proposed a plan that
Nike,
included
what do
a
they
private
tell us?
insurance
Just
option.
do it.
What is your plan today?
Adidas,
Well,
what do they tell us? Nothing is impossible.
Over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options.
Just,
what we need to do
you
is
know,
maintain and grow the Affordable Care Act. But I'll get to that, Lindsay.
we
I
need
just
to
need to
maintain and
previous
grow
point
it.
That the former president has made. I've made very clear my position on fracking, and then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. As it relates to the Affordable Care Act, understand, just look at the history to know where people stand. When Donald Trump was president,
look, man,
60 times he tried
I
to get
take
rid
medication
of the Affordable Care
too
Act.
for my
60
mental
times.
health.
I was
I'm
a
not going to
senator
take you to the
at
hospital.
time when I will never forget
Cops,
the early morning
look, man, I
hours
speed too. I'm
it
not
was
gonna
up
write
for
you a
vote in the
ticket
United
if
States
you.
And the
I'm not
late,
gonna write
great
you a
John
ticket if you
McCain,
speed,
who
man.
you have disparaged as being
She's a cop.
you
She's
don't
gonna take
like
the
him,
guns
you
away.
said at the time because he got caught. He was an American hero. The late great John McCain, I will never forget that night, walked onto the Senate floor and said, "No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, you don't,
you
nigga."
Don't get rid of the Affordable Care Act. You
Yeah,
have
she's a
no
cop.
plan.
She's copping it.
And what the Affordable Care Act
She's
has
copping
done is
this shit.
eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, bitch.
I don't have to tell the people watching tonight. You remember what that was like? Remember when an insurance company could deny if a child had
Look,
asthma?
you're just gonna
if
pay
someone was a
3
breast
times
cancer
as much. They
survivor,
can't
if a-
deny
if a
you.
grandparent had diabetes.
Just like how like the
And
Haitians are gonna
thankfully,
get car insurance
as I've
because
been
they're
vice
not. You're
president
just gonna
and we,
pay
over the
more
last
for
4
them, so
years,
then
have
you can make up
strengthened
for
the
it.
Affordable Care Act.
So don't worry about it.
We have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate.
You're just gonna
drug
pay
prices
extra, okay?
On behalf of you, the American people. Donald Trump said he was going to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. He never did. We did. And now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have capped the cost
What did you
of
just say to me,
prescription
bitch?
medication for
You know I'm a
seniors
Navy
at
SEAL.
$2,000 a
I've
year.
heard bodies.
And when I
You
am
get bitches.
president,
I walk in
we
the
will
club,
do
I
that
whip my
for
dick
all
out and they start
people
sucking it.
that
Rainbow
value
party,
our
motherfucker.
rights.
You know what? I buried 8 of them in your backyard. You have no clue.
Should be a
people who
right
are on the couch
and not
to
just
come
a
out and vote
privilege
for
of
her.
those who can afford it. And the plan has to be
I have to get my
strengthen
teeth
the
cleaned.
Affordable Care Act, not get rid of it.
Vice
Pass it
President
pro-law
Harris,
in
thank
terms
you.
of where Donald Trump stands on that.
I want to move to an issue that's important for a
She
lot
made a
of
mistake. And number one, John McCain fought Obamacare for 10 years. But it wasn't only him. It were all of the Democrats that kept it going. And you know what? We can do much better than Obamacare. Much less money. But
He's
going
gonna
to
come out for Medicare for all.
Private insurance for people. Private medical insurance. That's another thing she doesn't want to give.
President
People
Trump.
are paying privately for insurance that have worked hard and made money, and they want to have private. She wants everybody to be on government insurance where you wait 6 months for an operation that you need immediately.
President Trump, thank you. We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. President Trump, with regard to the
Sir,
environment,
I
you say
smoked
that we
some
have
weed
to
and I have a
have
dry
clean air
mouth.
and clean water.
I need you to
Vice
prescribe
President
me
Harris,
water.
You call climate change an existential threat. The question to you both tonight is, what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute for you each.
Well, the former president had said that climate change is a hoax. And what we know is that it is very real. You ask anyone who lives in a state who has
No, it's
experienced
not.
these extreme weather occurrences, who now is either being denied home insurance or it's being
That's
jacked
China.
up. You ask anybody who has been the victim of what that means in terms of losing their home.
It's the
having nowhere to
windmill.
go. We know that we can actually deal with this issue. The young people of America care deeply about this issue. And I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy, while we have also increased domestic gas production to historic levels. We have created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs while I have been vice president. We have invested in clean energy to the point that we...
I was born with a fire inside, but psoriasis doused my flame until I got clearer skin. With Bimzelx, you could say I'm back. Most people got 100% clear skin, some after the first dose.
Serious side effects, including suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections, and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to.
Start to get yourself back with Bimzelx.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx today.
As a dentist, I spend so much time trying to tell people that if they're brushing without flossing, then they're missing out.
But Cocoa Floss is a game changer. Cocoa Floss is designed by a dentist and makes flossing fun. Unlike regular flat floss, Cocoa Floss has more than 500 textured threads woven into each strand, so it can scrub off stinky, cavity-causing plaque.
Wow.
It's infused with cleansing coconut oil and comes in fresh scents.
Cocoa Floss made flossing the best part of my nightly routine.
Can't come into our country because they will kill the United Auto Workers and any auto worker, whether it's in Detroit or South Carolina or any other place. What they've done
This is going
to
a lot
business
longer
and
than the last one.
manufacturing in this country is horrible. We have nothing because they refuse. You know, Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China
Elon
paid
Musk.
him millions of dollars. He's afraid to do it.
Elon
Between
Musk.
him and his son. They get all this money from Ukraine. They get all this money
Elon
from
Musk.
all these different countries.
Dude,
And then you
every
wonder, why is he so
fucking
loyal
Trump
to
take
this
is a
one, that one,
conspiracy,
Ukraine, China?
unfounded.
Why is he? Why did
Shut
he
the fuck up!
$1 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Why did he?
This motherfucker is supposed to be talking about climate right now.
This is a crooked administration, and they're sending our country down the tubes.
President Trump, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates in a
Oh
historic
my
night this
God,
ABC News presidential
bro.
debate from Philadelphia.
What the
Philly.
fuck? Okay, that
Mick
shit was hella
Nab,
boring.
Mick
The second
Nab,
half was so
Mick
boring. The
Nab,
first one was
Mick
like,
Nab,
the first
Mick
half was
Nab.
like way more powerful than the second
Mick
half. I'm
Nab,
not gonna lie.
Mick Nab,
They
Mick
front-loaded that
Nab,
shit pretty
Mick
hard,
Nab.
and they kept the Israel
Mick
stuff
Nab,
to the
Mick
end,
Nab,
too.
Mick Nab, Mick Nab,
But,
Mick Nab, Mick Nab, Mick Nab, Mick Nab.
honestly,
Big Nab, Big Nab, Big Wickman,
not
Wickman.
great.
I say McNab.
Not great overall.
Wickman, Wick,
Second
McNab,
half was
McNab,
definitely
McNab,
weaker.
McNab.
Trump is just
Wickman,
still
Wickman,
continuing to
Wickman.
devolve every fucking
Adrian
every
Dickman.
conversation just like
Yeah, nigga,
goes
I'm
on
on Rabbit and
tangents.
Camila Cabello.
I think there was some moments
One
where
hand on
Kamala
my
Harris
face,
was
one
also,
hand on my waist,
flubbing a little
one
bit.
you
What
get
do you
lost.
think?
She didn't try to
Yeah,
change
yeah.
him at all in the second half, which I thought was
One
kind of
hand
weird.
on my waist,
that went
one
like
hand
kind of
on
like
my
weirdly
face.
smoothly.
Oh.
He sounded terrible. I think that like right now, like the poly market, like odds for like who won the debate is like 95% for Kamala, which like I think will be true. They usually have like the intra, like the one big thing that I was like really kind of shocked by that I was surprised that she didn't really hit him on. He got baited on the fucking Central Park 5.
Yeah, I got baited.
He
Yeah.
said they were guilty.
Suck this dick, nigga.
Like,
yeah.
God. Yeah, that was one thing he got baited on, I guess.
Yeah, I could never be president. I
Oh,
just started fucking
It's not
trolling.
It's not over yet. Somebody said it's over, but it's not.
It's
No,
over.
there's the final monologue.
The final monologue?
They're gonna do their final closing statements, which
Listen, on one hand, we have a presidential candidate. On the other hand, we have a presidential candidate. One side has hair. The other side has hair. One side, we know. One side is below our knowing. But we come together at this time and place, and we see clearly, after we spread the sea like Moses, that we do not have to leave the kingdom of Christ. For Christ has risen between both of these candidates today and has seen them come together. Donald J. Trump, Kamala Bullshit Harris, come together and make love on this stage and give us baby Jesus. Amen.
moderate on immigration. He could have been more moderate, like a little bit, like dialed it back and didn't do like conspiracies and stuff. And I think that would have been more appealing to like a broader audience. But he went way too hard on immigration. And I think that's going to backfire on him. He went way too hard on, like he kept doing this. He kept doing this thing, like he even did it on abortion, where he was just like,
I don't know, who's
like,
this guy?
obviously
I think this
lied,
is the guy that
and
preaches in
would,
the Arab
like,
Discord and
in
sings
an
Arab
opportunity where,
songs.
like, he could technically jam up Kamala Harris and be like, oh, well, do you want third trimester abortions? Like, what point would you ever restrict abortion if you would? Like, that kind of question would be...
support Roe. That's
I
like
don't fucking know work here, dude.
Line. They don't ever like say, "Oh, Roe means you have this sort of type of restriction."
Yeah.
So that maybe kind of doesn't.
But
make
because he was lying about like post-birth abortions and shit, that like he wouldn't even be able to hit like a good line of attack on Kamala Harris on that front. And I think that that similar attitude presented itself even when he was talking about like, you know, Russia and Israel Palestine. Like in a lot of moments where he didn't really talk about Israel-Palestine, like throughout this entire process, throughout the past 11 months, whenever he did, he presented himself as like the guy who's going to end it, right? The guy who's going to end it all. And I think at this point, he should have probably had like some way of ending it. Like he could say something beyond like, nah, I'm just going to end it.
Yeah, that would have worked in 2016, I think, when like the whole concept was like, oh, I'm like this person, I can get shit done, I'm like this competent like outsider. That was like a really big underrated part of his appeal, I think, and that shine has gone off after he's already been president. Like when he has to like kind of say like, oh, half of my administration was morons, but like I'm gonna do it better this time, and also like I don't talk with JD Vance about anything. It's the Celtics Shaq phenomenon. He's Celtics Trump.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, and I think like he lied. 3 strong suits that he could hammer, kind of cooked them a little bit. I think he also fucked up on
fact checkers. They're mauling about ABC.
Everyone is getting mauled about ABC. The debate is coming back, but I think that it was good that they actually did moderate the debate. You shouldn't be able to get away with lying that much on national television on a presidential debate. So fuck everybody.
Statements, and Vice President Harris, we begin with you.
So I think you've heard tonight 2 very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past, and an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back. And I do believe that the American people know we all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward. And a vision of that includes having a plan, understanding the aspirations, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition of the American people, which is why I intend to create an opportunity economy, investing in small businesses, in new families, in what we can do around protecting seniors, what we can do that is about giving hardworking folks a break and bringing down the cost of living. I believe in what we can do together that is about sustaining America's standing in the world and ensuring that we have the respect that we so rightly deserve, including respecting our military and ensuring we have the most lethal fighting force in the world. I will be a president that will protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. I'll tell you, I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a DA, I was an attorney general, a United States senator, and now vice president. I've only had one client, the people. And I'll tell you, as a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on what we can do over the next 10 and 20 years to build back up our country by investing right now in you, the American people.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump?
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've
Bro, this is your opening statement. What are you doing? I mean, closing statement.
They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now.
I don't know, I'm not paying attention.
To that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack, we're not going to take fossil fuel, we're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question.
This is reverse 2016 in some ways.
Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world they're laughed. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me.
Viktor Orban is laughing at us.
We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
President
That's your
Trump,
closing
thank
statement?
you. And that is our ABC News presidential debate from here in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center. I'm Lindsay Davis.
And I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching here in the U.S. and all over the world, and from all of us here at ABC News.
That was ass!
Yeah, all I know is it's gonna be this, nigga! All I know is this is what we gonna have!
Okay, nothing else. Okay. All right, what are your final thoughts, Eddie Mentum?
That was kind of a
well, this is like
buzzkill.
I can't stop thinking about. I have the concept of a plan. I don't think that she necessarily like did what I felt like she needed to do, which is like really define who she is beyond kind of like
that's not it.
Platitudes and sort of just like also great hypocrisy. But I think like I don't think
this is what it's gonna be. He's calling me a mockery. Yeah. I'm doing a fucking macaroni. I'ma beat her ass. Macaroni and grilled cheese on my tits. Niggas all over my bitches. I need dick. Yeah, nigga, I got my angel and my baby. Shooting up, no, them niggas go bam, 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 bam. Nigga go around the corner and I go bam, 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 bam. Nigga come around with the Gouda and I go bam, 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 bam. Nigga come around here and I go bam, 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 bam. I'm bam, 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 nigga, yeah. Roller coaster all over my dick, I'm like, yeah. Nigga all up on my dick and I'm like, yeah. Nigga all up on my dick and I'm like, yeah. Come around, man, I'ma fuck that nigga. Come around, I'ma fight that nigga. I got money and bricks, and I got dick, nigga. Yeah, I got all these rocks. I got watches, and I got Mickey bitches, and I eat that, yeah, shake that shit, nigga. Yeah, money, straight, yeah, that's what I got. Rack City, yeah. Nigga, go around and get the money, and I got the money in the, yeah, bang, bang, bang. Yeah, Glock. Yeah, the strap, nigga, in the trap, nigga. With the weed that nigga, I gotta smoke that Bombay. I gotta smoke that bomb with that Bombay, and I got the handy nigga. Yeah, I cross the street and I bang them. Yeah, nigga, I bang your bitch. I fuck your bitch. I give her dick, nigga.
The population has already made up their minds on Donald Trump. Maybe he can eke out tweak the margins a little bit with like young men, conspiratorial-minded people that don't actually show up on polls, right? Like. He's had the capacity to do this before. He's done it twice, as a matter of fact. He's done it. He's done it twice, where he's like brought forward people that normally are
Alan
not
is not an idiot.
polled well, right? Like people that
who the fuck is Alan, dude?
To an extent,
Alan who?
There are some explanations for why the polls were off in 2016.
He ran over her
beyond just like that.
fucking way.